Well, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back for another Scarlet Classic Grand Finals featuring
We're
Rutgers.
Fireside. We're Fireside today.
Oh, wait, as far as Fireside Grand Finals featuring Rutgers, Varsity Whites, and Penn State. Who will take home the trophy tonight? And joining me,
Hi guys, it's me, Brian or Storm Fury, and obviously, if you didn't know, the person who introduced us, Tom. We got a good game today. This is actually a rematch, I believe. The Varsity White and Penn State have already played each other, and I believe Penn State beat Varsity White 2-0. So we'll see if Varsity White has got any counter strategies today.
indeed, Varsity White crawling out of the losers bracket, taking down Varsity Black in the losers finals. So they're coming at this from losers side. Penn State might be the favorite. They took down Rutgers needs jerseys, the old guard. Shout out ASAP Jazzy and Candela. They took down Kenny's Church, Challenger Jungler. Challenger. He's one of the best we got. Taken down by Penn State. So let's see what they have in store for us.
And
the
we're starting off with the first pick Aatrox. Love to see it. I think this patch, Aatrox is a little bit worse than last patch with the Ravenous nerfs, but still a really solid pick. And they're gonna pick Caitlyn Karma, which is a really strong lane actually. I'm gonna have to see what Varsity White comes up with here, because this Penn State bot lane is gonna be very strong and aggressive.
Yeah, Varsity White preferring the Aatrox. Interesting. And the Hecarim, though. Securing the Hecarim for Nor would be massive. He has been performing on this champ as of late.
Yeah, I'm actually surprised. Normally, when I see Nor play, or Nispril play, it's his Echo is normally banned in the first half of the ban phase, but this time Penn State opting to ban out Kassan and Ribbon, and the Seraphine away from 0-7. I know I've seen him play quite a bit of that.
Yeah, a lot of bans coming out for predictable in the top lane. So he might have told the team, hey, I need the Aatrox, then we can't help bot. But, you know. And the Lilia possibly an answer. Another four-legged, disgusting creature.
Technically, they have 6 limbs, 2 arms, and 4 legs. Very similar champions. Maybe, but they're both going to be moving very fast around the jungle. Lilia and Hecarim, fast clears and fast move speed. Zillion bans. Have seen 200 IQ play spot that Zillion. Very strong with the Hecarim as well. If I had to say anything about this draft right now, it looks like Varsity White picked a do nothing AD carry, because I'm pretty sure I watched Ash be absolutely useless in game 2 of World's Finals.
It's a Caitlyn Karma. Or was it Caitlyn's Varus Karma, maybe? But yeah, I remember what you're talking about.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I do recall Ash doing not a lot, but we'll see if Owen can put up a better performance than Gumayushi.
And what support do you pair with that, though? Karma is pretty oppressive. They'll be able to push and poke pretty consistently at the start.
Yeah, I'm not entirely sure. Definitely. Their support is music is nice, correct?
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah, definitely. I've seen Music is Nice play a lot more tanky engage style supports. So we'll see if they opt for that and kind of give up on the early prio in the bot lane in favor of waiting for ganks, like maybe an Amumu or Leona perhaps.
Ooh, I like the Renata though. I like the Renata as an answer to Karma, personally. It's kind of similar to Karma in a way, but Karma can speed up herself immediately and others immediately, which is different.
Yeah. Renata's not bad though. It stops your team from being picked very easily. And I think that's a Swain mid, so Um, Penn State's playing Swain mid with Camille top, Lilia jungle, Caitlyn Karma bot lane, and then this Caitlyn Karma bot lane is being put up against Astronauta, which is also a pretty strong lane, to be fair. I think Caitlyn Karma's gonna have a little bit more damage early game, but in a 3v3 with the jungler, if both junglers show up, I think that Varsity White is a little bit stronger.
Yeah, the draft is good. I'm happy they put 200 IQ on Mal's. He's been performing recently. Last losers finals, he popped off against Varsity Black.
Yeah, we'll just have to see how well they're able to execute this comp, I'm pretty sure. They definitely have to be Varsity White has to be very careful in the spot lane here. Because Caitlyn Karma is gonna be able to put a lot of pressure down on them in terms of damage, especially early.
Oh yeah.
Karma's cooldowns are shorter and do more damage. I'll have to see how they choose to play this lane, but level 1 especially, Varsity White spot lane's got to be a lot more careful. I don't think we mentioned this top lane matchup yet. It's Camille versus Aatrox. I haven't been playing a ton of top lane recently, so I'm not entirely sure who wins this matchup this patch, but
I think Camille will outscale Aatrox, but Aatrox wins early is the
yeah,
pattern.
that's
Like
what
his spikes.
that's what I would have guessed. Camille's true damage is really oppressive. I think when Ravenous was still had its scaling healing, Aatrox would definitely be able to give Camille a run for his money because he would hit a power spike on that Ravenous and then kind of run her over for a little bit. But we'll also see what builds predictable ops for.
Yeah, there's so much CC on the side of Varsity White. If they can get a fat Renata ult, Ash, Mal's, Hecarim ult, Jesus. Every character has a huge, like long-lasting CC. Maybe they'll opt for some QSS's, cleanses, and such. Get taxed on the side of Penn State.
Yeah, one thing to note is that neither team is particularly tanky. On the side of Rutgers Varsity White, we're running Hecarim as like a bruiser, maybe, depending on what Nispro decides to build. And Aatrox is also just a bruiser, also depending on what Predictable decides to build, but the meta has been leaning towards a higher damage Aatrox. And then on the side of Penn State, Camille is also a bruiser, Lilia a bruiser sometimes. It depends on what you build, and then Swain is also a bruiser, a magic damage bruiser. But there's no dedicated tank on either team, so this game should be a lot or quite fast paced since they don't have a tank or neither team has a tank. It'll be a lot on positioning and just making sure nobody gets too caught out.
Yeah, absolutely. And Caitlyn and Karma will be pushing, but maybe Ash and Renata have more utility and pick potential out of lane. So they might go down a few plates, slight CS advantage, but will Caitlyn and Karma be able to carry off of that? We'll see.
Yeah, there is I think we're gonna have to keep a close eye on these dragon fights because Caitlyn and Karma, especially like the early levels, are gonna be stronger than Ash and Renata. However, when the junglers hit level 3 and come bot, start casting Scuttle Crab, and then a little bit later for the dragon, Hecarim, Ash, Renata, I think beats out Lilia, Karma, and Caitlyn in a lot of situations in the 3v3.
Yeah, I mean, unless Swain and Lilia somehow get ridiculous value ults and Lilia gets a ton of move speed and kind of jukes a lot of abilities, it has to be perfect.
Yeah, I think that when the entire map is level 6, Ash and Renata should be able to have more impact than Caitlyn and Karma. It's just a matter of whether or not they can get to level 6 and then start team fighting without giving up too much gold. Because the Karma and Caitlyn able to zone the Ash off of CS pretty well. Mostly, if I had to guess, 0-7 probably mostly going to be farming with W, maybe a couple autos in, but it's going to be really hard for him to get into range to easily CS. So definitely an important bot lane to watch out for. In terms of top lane, there's going to be I would think that there would be a lot of dueling, but what do I know? I'm a gold player. I like to fight all the time. So maybe they know something I don't, but there probably will be a fair share of dueling up in the top lane. We can't see what summoner spells they've taken yet, so don't know exactly who's trying to play aggressive and who's not, but we'll see what happens this game.
Oh yeah, Owen brought out this Ash pick when we faced him in the losers bracket. And it was rough. We couldn't get him, and we had a slight lead, but we couldn't make it big, and he was still useful. It was one of those situations.
Hmm. Yeah, we'll see if 0-7 manages to hold out against his Caitlyn Karma. Don't
But
bleed too much gold away, and then be able to be much stronger with his utility later in the game.
absolutely, absolutely. And some Ash is a crazy character. They can reveal so much of the jungle's plan, like absolutely call them out and stop like action on one side of the map for a while. So we'll have to see. But with
Yeah.
that being said, we'll be looking at a short break and then we'll get in game right after that.
And we're back. I'm very excited to see how this game plays out. Both ADCs took Cleanse, and both supports took Ignite. In the top lane, Camille running Fleet Footwork and Ignite instead of Flash. So definitely looking
Playing
to
to
play.
scale.
Yeah, got Fleet Footwork to avoid the poke, or to negate the poke, and then Ignite for all-ins on that Aatrox. A little bit of shenanigans going on in the river here, but nothing too much. They did get the ward.
That is
Some
just like
gold.
XP for mid. That might be significant.
Yeah, that's 1 minion difference, right?
Yeah, he split it with Karma. Did Caitlyn get any too? If Caitlyn got some, maybe it won't matter.
Minions have spawned.
0-7 taking a little bit of free damage from the Karma ults. Nothing too major, just a little bit of positioning wars in the early game. Any
And
vision actually end up sticking? It doesn't look like it.
and jungles are looking to clear away from each other.
Yeah,
So
so
Penn State opting to play for bot, and Rutgers Varsity away opting to play for top at the start, at least, perhaps.
yeah, so we did know in the early or in the draft that early on, Penn State should have a little bit more damage. Although Rutgers taking some pretty good trades down here. But
Oh, Renata can push. Yeah, Renata
Yeah.
has great push potential. Oh, and look, she's looking to poke. Yup, yup. Her auto attack is so satisfying.
yeah, getting some really good poke off in the bot lane there.
And insta-shoving the next wave as Renata with E, yep. Ooh, big Karma.
That is a
too.
lot of damage from Karma, though.
Yeah, what is that?
Predictable.
Top trade
just
heavy, yep.
Predictable is just getting slammed. Wow, a lot of trading all across the board. Not really any kill pressure quite yet. He was still a little bit too early into the game. Although top lane,
Oh, Predictable missing the Q3. But he looks like he's okay.
yeah, no flash on the Camille means that it's not that easy to chase down this Aatrox with flash. But I don't know.
He has level advantage, and here E's coming
Yeah.
back up.
Predictable looking a little bit low there.
Nor is close, though. Nispril is close. We'll see if he opts to help. We'll see if Rutgers knows that Lilia isn't even here. Camille did leash.
Good stun for Music is nice, taking a lot of damage though. I completely forgot about Renata's ability to just shove out waves there.
Yeah, her
It's
E
kind
is great.
Yeah. This is kind of a big crash, but I don't think Leeds is going to be able to pull off any dives here. Especially since Hecarim...
Pink's coming
top.
onto the top lane from Hecarim, though. Is he going to go around this vision, though? It's a good ward from Camille.
GreedGreg he plays. Almost dead.
Ooh,
He
good
is just
combo.
dead.
Wow. Also
Top
fighting
lane.
happening top.
Oh, so
Is it a
close.
1-for-1 with this Ignite ticking? No, it's clean.
If the Q2 went off, Predictable was dead there for sure, but it was really close there for sure. A little unfortunate by 200 IQ plays, just barely missed the timing on the W. Doesn't manage to walk out of it.
Yeah, save sums. Maybe that was the wise choice. Keep them for the next fight. Swain didn't burn A either, though.
Yeah, it's tough for 200 IQ plays in the mid lane here. Swain gets a blasting rod, a little bit of AP up on him. Just some really good pulls landed by Zaltate. Able to just poke the Malzahar down,
Yeah,
even through the
Swain.
spell shield.
I don't see Swain mid much. It's kind of high.
Yeah, I don't really see it either. I play Swain support, but
I like Swain.
yeah, it is quite fun. Just the trading you'd expect to see in the bot lane. CS is relatively even though. Nispril is here. Missing things going down. They'll seem like they spotted him. Predictable, just farming in the top lane. Is now one kill up.
Look at these deep wards from Saki TTV. Spotting Hecarim deep back here. And they see Swain roaming bot.
But are they going to be able to do anything about it? We'll see. Yeah, they're just going to back off.
Respect it, yep.
Look at Nitz. He's going so far into Nispril's jungle.
Yep, get a little
Penn
cheeky deep ward.
He's going to have so much vision on where Nispril's going and what he's doing. He knows they have vision on him, but there's also not much he can do about it. He can sweep some of it, but the information is still there.
Ooh, Mal's ghosting onto Lilia.
Has
Caught
6.
topside jungle. Is it enough?
Is Lilia just dead? Has to flash. Does live, though.
Not bad, not bad. Put Lilia out of commission for a moment. Pressure relieved off everybody. We can't get ganked.
Yeah, but Malzahar does burn Ghost and his ultimate for this. So we'll have to see if Phil Gaber decides to just run straight back mid, and then the Ghostless Malzahar with no ults is it's a lot easier to burn its flash.
That was an investment. But maybe they get Lilia for her flash. It's like a trade.
Yeah. The flashless Lilia does relieve a lot of pressure on the map, I have to say. We'll see if anyone is able to capitalize on 200 IQ plays' lack of Ghost and Ultimate, but the Ultimate's almost halfway back already. We'll have to see how this ends up. And maybe trading
King's
going on
coming
this
down.
ball lane. Cleanse from 0-7.
W applied from Rana.
Flashes away. 0-7 really low, but
Meanwhile, they're looking at Lilia. Bot jungle. Swain's rotating late. Mal's is here already. No flash. Is it enough? It
and
is.
she dies. Swain's gonna be here though. Might be able to look for something. Swain has 6, but they're
Ooh, close to did probably.
don't
Renata's
even
here
know
though.
not even sure what happened there. Everyone's really low from the side of Rutgers, but Penn State
Ooh,
also
Renata
really low.
W proc. She can't get the reset. Double kill for
Double
Caitlyn.
kill
Wow.
for Caitlyn, and this girl just walks away. Really good call from Penn State. They're able to realize that they're just able to force the damage. Swain ults, a lot of impact on there.
Yeah, Swain kind of championed that entirely. Caitlyn couldn't walk in until they were kind of scattered. Renata on her own, and Caitlyn capitalized. Well played, well played.
And Predictable might get the punish here. Nace wasn't able to get out of the W. Might just be dead. Really good solo kill from Predictable.
Put it down! I got my blood flowing.
Yeah. Meanwhile, in the mid lane, or sorry, in the jungle, Penn State's just gonna run away with the dragon because they won the bot fight. And adaptivity gonna reset.
And we'll see if Predictable can keep Camille out of commission, you know, out of the game. Snowball his lead, spread it to bot, spread it to mid.
Yeah, but Zalt hate. He's going either Rallies or Demonic first. It's probably Rallies. Really annoying to play against Rallies Swain. Really hard to get out of his ultimate, really. But Lilia 6. I think there's not much to play for in the bot half of the map, unless Build Gamer just decides he wants to put 0-7 further behind. But we're looking at this Rift Herald, and yeah, Rutgers is gonna go out for the Rift Herald. Not a lot of presence from Penn State up here. Might just be free Rift
They moved
Herald
Renata up for that. Owen is sacking a bit of CS. Playing the auxiliary AD carry role patiently. Respect.
That Herald just comes with the fact that they have a winning top lane
Things
right
coming
now.
top from Hecarim. Camille's kind of out though.
Yeah, she knows that Hecarim's up there because they took the Herald.
Oh, but Nispel's looking more
But-
aggressive. They know she's looking for red buff. Malzahar's close, but so is Camille.
Malzahar's gonna be here. Malzahar has ultimate.
Oh yeah, this is money. Oh,
this
great.
is huge.
Great targeting from Malz. Don't waste the ulti. Camille's... Oh my god. Lilia's dead already. Save it for Camille. And they didn't even need Predictable. It's a 2 for 0 topside.
Yeah. A lot of free stuff coming out of the top lane. Build Gamer wasn't careful enough about the fact that Hecarim is just walking through his jungle, not enough vision, and just gets run down. Meanwhile, bot lane,
Ooh, massive poke. Renata R ult coming out. It hits
actually
Caitlyn only.
on Caitlyn, but 0-7's probably dead.
Oh, they assumed
Uh-oh.
Karma would die so it could reset the Renata, but it wasn't enough.
And the Renata just happened to block the, just had barely enough health to block the Caitlyn R. Ash barely had enough health off of the Renata W to block the Caitlyn R for Renata.
Yeah, so that was funny.
Actually, really funny to see.
Last ditch effort to save some HP. And another play coming down for Predictable. 3 out of the 5 taken.
Mid lane, Rallies, you can't run. You have to get out. No
Looking on
flash,
Malz, no
no
sun.
ghost.
And he's just dead.
Rallies on Swain. Really annoying.
Instant
Way
TP
too
from
hard to run
Predictable.
away.
Well, it looks like he'll just path. Oh! You might want a piece of this mid laner.
He'll hold the wave. No ult on the Swain does mean he can probably 1v1 with the Ravenous. He does end up going for it. Unfortunately, that item got nerfed, or it'd be a much stronger spike for him. Yeah, he's just gonna path back top. Didn't really miss much. Maybe a couple minions, but doesn't miss too much for TPing to the mid lane and holding the wave. If we take a look at the gold, relatively even. Rutgers White is a little bit ahead, but
It's a classic top versus bot game, yeah.
yeah,
So we'll see Predictable or Adaptivity. But Zoltate kind of has been championing a lot of good plays.
yeah.
Might overtake.
Honestly, we'll be looking for adaptivity to do a lot of the damage, especially since he's the AD carry. It's kind of in the name. But Zoltan definitely has the opportunity to
Oh, look at this four-man
be
top.
very useful.
And Mal's immediately running it. Renata's here, Hex here. It might be overkill.
The E missed. That's a little bit unlucky. If the E had hit and he was able to buffer the CC, might have been able to get out temporarily. Well, definitely still would have gotten a rundown by the Hecarim and Renata showing up. And yeah, like you said, it's turning into like one of those classic, if you're a bot lane and you're just, and you get fed and then you walk out of lane and see like super fed Aatrox. That's like the type of game we're seeing here. Or maybe, depending on how this game plays out.
Immediately four-man mid, two after top. Can they get him while the ult's popping? Renata ult's coming, and it is enough! Wow!
Wow, they actually have so much damage there.
That's really good. They transitioned immediately. Oh, and 7 getting caught.
7 just getting caught.
A little cocky there.
I don't think he realized that Saki TTP was there. Just a little bit of a surprise for 0-7. Walks into a bush, gets hit by a Karma Q.
Yeah, and this drag is coming up right now, and they're looking to rush it immediately.
Yeah, 0-7 is down. No ults across the board from Rutgers. Should be a pretty easy take. Although, Predictable is down here. Has the Ravenous, has his boots done.
They wanted it, but it just wasn't in the cards. The tempo said recall after the mid play. But the mid play was good. They didn't expect it. Penn State was all tunnel visioned on drag, kind of get bot prio.
I mean, they do have the bot prio, adaptivity, 3-0. Should be able to afford his Gale Force soon, if I had to guess. Seems to be a couple gold off. He's probably going to just reset here, as long as Hecarim doesn't find him.
I kind of want him to go Kraken, low-key, because he needs to carry this, but we'll see. Gale Force will get him out of sticky situations, so it's understandable.
Yeah, it's probably going to be a Gale Force. Yeah, he does end up buying the Gale Force. It's just, the Kraken Slayer, he doesn't provide enough damage for the fact that he loses out on a dash with the Gale Force. Because the Gale Force would allow him to get out of like these Aatrox Qs, Aatrox W, dodge Hecarim R, that type of thing. And even maybe Ashar, so it's just really important for him to have this little bit of extra mobility.
Yeah, and if I'm Caitlyn this game, we need to break this bot turret, and then I'm yelling at my whole team, just support me when we're trying to kill this top. If I'm there, maybe we can kill him.
Yeah, and it's actually, one thing is that Nispril actually has a higher bounty than
When the ult and CC chain coming out. 0-7, arrow goes wide though.
Zoltan just not dying, has so much healing from this ultimate.
Camille's here. Renata and Aatrox are far, topside jungle. 0-7
dead too.
Goes down, huge shutdown for Lilia.
Shutdown goes on to Lilia. Probably would have
immediately ults in. Renata ults.
Still fighting. Renata's still here.
Swain.
They're gonna get Swain.
It almost caught Lilia. Caitlyn's rotating up though.
Yeah, that was kind of a good turnaround by Predictable, knowing that they have enough damage to get one kill back at least. Adaptivity should be fine. Has the Gale Force.
And a little Renata and Aatrox action.
And, oh, that's so good for Penn State, actually. I shut down onto Lily, I shut down onto Caitlyn. Caitlyn doesn't die.
Absolutely massive, yeah.
That's really, really good for Penn State.
And Renata W wasn't up maybe for Aatrox. It would have worked really well. He lives a bit, gets a reset, gets the attack speed, gets the move speed. But I think he was a few seconds off for Renata.
Yeah, overall that was really good, or really well played by Penn State. They managed to find the picks that they needed. They're now ahead in gold.
Nispro looking on the bot lane, overstaying mid a little bit. Wow, and that's enough damage. Holy cow. The Hecarim.
That's a lot of damage from the Malzahar too.
Just Ravenous. Yeah, Malzahar helped.
Yeah, Malzahar presses E on Caitlyn. Caitlyn loses like a quarter of her HP. Just ADC things, you know. Looks like they are. Rutgers is going to be able to secure the second Herald for themselves. Penn State did end up being up in gold after that trade. Like I was saying before, the mid lane fight was just really good, really well played by Penn State. They're able to find the pick that they need. Did get turned on a little bit by Predictable, but Predictable overstayed its welcome and gets shut down by the Caitlyn. Overall puts them up in gold. Caitlyn finishing her second item here. And Lilia also got a shutdown on the Hecarim. And looks like she's on her way to Jock Show.
This game is like dead even though still. It's kind of crazy.
Yeah, still very close in gold. And Rutgers White does have the Herald option, so they're going to get a little bit more. Maybe 1 or 2 towers, depending on how they decide to use it.
Penn State does have the Dragons though.
Yeah, what dragon is it this game? Ocean?
Ocean
Looks like
Soul.
it's Ocean Soul. Ocean Soul, pretty good, but would have been even better if any of these teams were running tanks. Like I mentioned in the draft, no tanks on either side, so Ocean Soul isn't going to make any one player unkillable. Although this Lilia, if she does end up building that Jock Show, and the Swain with Jock Show, going to be really hard for Rutgers to kill.
Yeah, there's kind of an idea of when it's Ocean Soul, you have to lean into it, kind of like stretch fights, like make them as long as possible to get as much value, you know?
Yeah, and
It's a long
Penn State,
fight, lots of poke, healing will be worth it.
yeah, and Penn State's definitely falling into that. They've got, I think both Swain and Lilia are going to end up building into that Jock Show. So really tanky, and then Camille with Divine Sunderer has plenty of healing, also going to be quite tanky.
TP bot from Aatrox, looking for a play on Camille. Malzahar might ghost on her?
No,
Oh, nothing.
Nitsuka's just out. Well, I think if we look at Vision for a second,
They want this third drag
Yeah.
bad.
if you look at Vision,
If Caitlyn gets traps down, it's good, but
Yeah,
looks like she's
but-
not. She's coming into the fight second.
Yeah, they kind of got zoned out. They had better vision.
Ooh,
Wait,
huge march,
huge.
triple on the back line. Ash insta cleanse it, Renata R to peel.
Oh my
Hecarim
God.
dives the back line, gets one shot.
Hecarim
Oh,
almost
it's looking good for
one-shot,
Penn
though.
State. Oh no, unless Lilia is still such a factor though. Devastating the back line.
Predictable is kind of running rampant though.
I know
Nispro,
Caitlyn left to mid, she's 1 HP.
I don't know if you saw, ulta into the backline, almost one-shot Caitlyn and Karma at the same time with RQ. A little bit crazy. Has the Manamune finished, and I don't know if he had the Manamune finish for that fight, but has the Manamune finish now, and then has his Ravenous on Hydra. Absolutely devastated Adaptivity and Saki TV
How was
there.
that fight that close? I thought it was Penn State winning so hard.
Yeah, I also thought
it
Penn
was-
State was winning,
It
but
was
then
this roll
Predictable.
alone.
But then Predictable kind of turned around and a one-shot half of the back, and then one-shot the front line as well. Philip Gamer hit a really good ultimate there.
Oh, is Lilia perusing the area? Everyone's up again, coming back. Hecarim's back, full HP, immediately starts scrapping. Oh,
Real
he
good
goes down
okay,
quick.
though.
Do they get the dragon?
He's next step 2.
They do. Can they get out
200
though?
IQ plays has to flash. They are
Nice.
gonna get out.
Oh, Lilia flashes
Lily's
though.
going in.
Holy.
They're gonna pick up more kills.
And their pings are going on to Baron. It's good. They picked 2. They picked 3.
They picked 3. Kaylin with the Gale Force ended up picking off Music is nice. And it looks like they're just gonna get the Baron here. Not sure that Rutgers is gonna be able to contest. Predictable is strong, but I don't think Predictable is that strong. Did end up building Jock Show, so opting also for a more tanky build. Keep seeing people building this Jock Show. I think it's broken, but I'm not entirely sure.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
also, it takes time to become useful. 8 seconds, and then you're extremely tanky.
But
Oh,
with the Ocean
predictable
Soul,
caught out after Nash. Camille locks him down.
I think that with the potential of Ocean Soul, especially, this Jock Show is going to be really good because the fights are going to be really
Oh,
extended.
Renata picked immediately, gets the ult off. Like Caitlyn
Oh my
one shot on
God.
Nispro. 1k to Nispro. That's how Caitlyn goes down? Oh, 0-7 is just a victim though.
Yeah, unfortunate. It's really just the classic 80 carry.
He's still useful too though.
Yeah, but especially for Adaptivity, he comes out of lane, has 6 kills, and then he sees the jungler also has 6 kills and one-shots him before he can move a step. It's just a little bit unlucky for him. It's not even that his team played poorly, it's just that he's so squishy and there's not really anybody to peel for him. Hecarim's able to just ult straight through to the back line.
He picked up the shield bow, he picked up everything he got. If he can put out some DPS in a fight, like him and Mal's without dying, I think they can win. Because Aatrox and Hecarim are getting their damage off.
Yeah.
Renata's getting her utility off.
Red team's turret has been destroyed.
Yeah, but for now, Penn State's still up in gold. Jaksho finished for both Lilia and Swain. They're going to be really tanky now. We'll see how well Predictable is able to shred them, and 200 plays as well with the Leandri is obviously going to do a bunch of damage to these tankier units.
Dear God, the double Jack show. Dear God.
Yeah, I gotta say, if I keep seeing this being built, I might just start playing this on every champion.
Oh, Lily looking at Renata immediately. She's kind of caught out. She goes the other way, though. Malzahar ult into Ashe ult.
Caitlin's
Doing
going
enough damage from this ult?
missing.
Oh, Caitlyn greeting. Big catch.
Yeah, Caitlyn almost had an angle there, but misses the auto. Doesn't manage to auto Renata correctly.
0-7 falls to the burn damage of Lily. Karma gets one shot by Hecarim, but they're low. Both Aatrox and Hecarim are low. Renata ult comes out. Renata W onto Aatrox. That's not.
Has to flash. Does Ult have anything to chase? No, but Neats does. Music Knight's probably dead.
And Camille's kind of coming online, low-key.
Yeah, Camille ended up being able to scale. Although I'm pretty sure she scaled with the one item. Divine Thunder.
Yeah, that's pretty much
broken.
it. She's fine with that.
And again, these 80 carries are just not playing the game. I watched both 80 carries get almost 100 to 0.
Caitlyn misplayed so bad.
Yeah.
Just greeting for these kills.
I mean, it would have been good if Adaptivity had actually managed to get Music is Nice, because he went really deep just looking for the Renata there before she could get her ult off.
It's not even worth just killing her. They didn't have vision. We have like God's eye perspective, but they didn't have vision. She didn't know who was behind them. Renata like ran the other way. It was crazy.
Yeah, Renata looked really good. Renata looked really low, but just Adaptivity just didn't have the range and doesn't manage to finish her off. It was a little bit unfortunate. I think he did go a little bit too deep though. Definitely no need for him to chase that far. But
because he can kill Hecarim. I don't think Ashe
Yeah.
can kill Lilia when Lilia and Camille dive on Ashe and Karma, or Ashe and Renata. It's so much harder.
He just be caught here.
Yeah, has to get ult off quick. Nope, not enough.
It doesn't have the ult up yet, so
This is drag at least, but they're gonna run them through. This might be game if they can get multiple.
dead. It shouldn't be game as long as Predictable stays alive. Predictable and Nispro definitely the highest damage dealers on the side of Rutgers. So they should be fine as long as both of them are alive. I mean,
Marching down mid lane, inhib at least they're looking for.
yeah, they're probably gonna get the inhib. I don't think Penn State can end. They have Rutgers has Predictable and Nispro up, and then Mal's ult is up as well. So Penn State probably not gonna be able to end, but they're definitely gonna be able to get the dragon for free.
I like North positioning, but he's been spotted out.
They're looking for something here. No, not gonna get it.
Look at this flank position from Hecarim, I love that. But he got caught. The vision was good.
Yeah, they're just gonna go for the dragon. But everybody is up from the side of Rutgers. 1-7 gonna be late to the fight. Has R though. Let's see if Renata decides to get a good R off, but just really good zoning from the side of Neeks. Gonna be able to. I'm honestly not sure.
Oh, and
what
the
to say
single sleep onto Malzahar, it might be enough. Camille double E. Renata all
Huge
comes backwards.
activity getting blown up by Nispro.
Renata and Mal's one shot. Yeah, Predictable onto the Karma, but it's good kiting from the backline. The backline can't. It's so much harder to kill the backline of Penn State.
Yeah,
Oh.
activity with the Gale Force and the Cleanse, able to just get away from Nispro there. It was.
Gale Force, Cleanse, Flash, E, yup.
You just hate to see it from the side of Rutgers. They have the dive. Predictable got so ahead, but unfortunately, Caitlyn just got strong enough, able to.
Music and nice 0-7 and 200 IQ plays are coming up momentarily. Maybe they realize they can't end.
They take a little bit too much.
No, they won't.
They're not going to be able to end.
Couldn't even get a single turret.
They just tanked a little bit too much of the tower. They didn't have the minions, unfortunately. I think if the wave was there, they would have been able to end for sure. They would have blown up the towers, but not quite. It's not quite late enough in the game. It's only 26 minutes in.
Yeah,
so,
they got too hypey. They probably shouldn't have dashed. They got too hyped. Understandable though.
Yeah, but this is looking really in Penn State's favor. Up a lot of gold. Almost finishing third items. Yeah, Lilia does end up finishing her third item just now.
Yeah, Kate's got IE, right? Yep.
Yep. Just a lot of items completed from the side of Penn State. This next fight's going to be crucial, and
stopwatches, fresh stopwatches on Swain and Kate. That's lovely.
yeah, Nisperl opting for Duskblade is actually really interesting. Very high damage Hecarim build here.
Oh, and Renata caught out by Swain maybe immediately, flashes away. Camille dives though, catches Ash. Ash takes the Renata W, ult comes down, he's going down. Renata ult's coming out into the channel.
Yeah, but there's no follow-up here.
Just completely run through.
It just doesn't last long enough. Predictable's getting soloed by Field Gamer.
He is so
with his
tanky,
lead,
actually.
unable to kill. And wow, that's Camille champion. He'll just run past everything.
Oh, look at
Can't
Nor
fit-
though, Nisperl. Proxying the wave to stop them from ending. I love this.
Field Gamer
Let's go!
is solo, but yeah, Nisperl
Let's
actually
go! He stalls it.
probably saved the game there
Yeah.
for Rutgers. It's still going to be really crucial that they have to fight over this Baron. I think if Penn State ends up getting this Baron with no picks on the side of Rutgers, they're just going to be able to back and end the game. Rutgers doesn't have the items to compete.
If you're breathing, you're living though, you know? Like, that's all I can ask for at this stage.
Yeah, we'll see if Nisperl ends up pulling some surprises like that on Penn State. But it's not looking that hopeful for Rutgers, if I had to guess. There's just too much of an item advantage from the side of Penn State. And I think Music is Nice is caught out here, actually. He has the blast cone, but he's gonna be forced off of it.
Oh,
Might just be
getting
dead.
vision again might be caught. So much damage.
Killing hard.
Gets the Renata ult off. Can they reset her? No. There's not enough targets to get the reset.
Caitlyn just kills Karma though.
Oh my god,
kind of
Hecarim
good.
just one-shots Caitlyn.
Wait, it's good for Rutgers. They can
Holy
win.
crap. How did Lilia get to 0 HP? Nah, Nor couldn't clean it up.
They could maybe win. But Predictable isn't able to find the Lilia.
It
It's
stalls
yeah.
at least. It stalls at least. Well, there is a wave mid. If they can keep chasing.
Yeah, if Owen and 200 IQ plays aren't able to stop this back off in time, they're just gonna lose the game.
Oh no.
Yeah,
And they are caught.
It's a disaster.
Do they have TPs? They don't have TPs, but they can sprint there. And they will.
Yeah, it's really unfortunate. That was actually a really good Renata R. Able to kill both Caitlyn and Karma. That was Rutgers' opportunity there, but
It did kill them in the back. That was crazy. So they started hitting each other and they killed each other?
yeah, Caitlyn
Nice.
straight up kills Karma for the duration of Renata R.
Oh, they can't.
kind of
Wow,
insane.
Ignite's back up. Rutgers still in it.
Oh wow, I'm actually kind of surprised Rutgers doesn't lose on the spot there. But that was a really insane Renata R there. Yeah, I was like, there's no way Caitlyn kills here, and then the Caitlyn just headshot Karma, and then Karma ended up dying. That was really funny to watch. And then Caitlyn also died because too much CC from the Renata R. But it's just gonna be Dragon. This is Soul. If they do end up getting the Soul, and that's probably just gonna be game. I think that it's gonna be nigh impossible to kill Exaltate and Field Gamer here on the side of Rutgers. They just don't have the damage.
It has to be a complete miracle. Like everything. Renata ult.
Yeah.
Mal's ults perfectly. Hecarim fears everybody into the Renata ult or something.
Like Rutgers gotta play this like perfectly in order to come back from this game. Hecarim's on the flank, but he just has to ult out.
Renata ult onto
Renata
one
ult goes
target.
wide, and that's probably just game. Caitlyn not CC'd by the Renata ults means that they're just able to run over Rutgers. That's probably going to be the end of game 1 in favor of Penn State Blue. And yeah, they're just going to roll over the towers. Predictable looking for something. Is going to get one shot by the Camille though. And yeah, that's just game.
Yeah, it was a good stall from the Rutgers boys. It was a good stall, but
It was actually looking pretty good for Rutgers in the beginning. Quadra kill over to 8 activity. But unfortunately, in that scenario, it's top comes out of their island and realizes that the AD carry is just a little bit too fed for them to handle. Which is unfortunate, because Predictable did play that lane really well. The gank from Nispril in the early game, able to put him ahead. Just unfortunate. Just not enough damage coming out of Nispril. And
Yeah, and
Predictable.
Predictable died first with the first big shutdown. Maybe it's the first big shutdown. Caitlyn denied the shutdown for a while, did give it eventually, but it was a lot later, and it was to Hecarim. Might be a little too late.
Yeah, I think there was some fights where we just watched, and Nispril was so close to one-shotting the Caitlyn and taking her out of commission, but just wasn't able to. And then in the end, even though they were able to one-shot the Caitlyn, the Swain got ahead enough that he was able to just carry the fights with Lilia. The Jock Show, the double Jock Show from Lilia and Swain made them basically unkillable for the side of the carries from Rutgers White. Just a little bit of an unfortunate game. And I think we're just going to go into a break with that. We'll see you guys for the next game in a bit.
Don't go anywhere, folks.
Hello.
And yeah, we're back, everyone. Surprise.
Shalom, hello, greetings, konnichiwa, welcome. Game 2 of the Fireside Grand Finals with Penn State and Varsity White.
Draft
Here we
already
go.
started. We're a little bit slow on that, but Riven and Cassant banned again from the side of Penn State. Really respecting predictable Cassant, apparently. I haven't seen it, but maybe they just hate playing against it. And it's going to be same bans from Penn State, actually. Rutgers Varsity White opts to respect Bandolilia from last game. They also end up banning... Wait, I don't actually remember what Varsity White banned last game. They did ban the Mordekaiser and Silas, I believe. So it's just a respect ban for the Lilia from last game. Let's see what they decide.
Caitlyn up again.
Yeah,
As well as
Caitlin's
the
up.
trucks.
Let's see if they're gonna pick away the Karma. Yeah,
Yep.
that's completely fair. Karma is just so strong. Honestly, I think she needs a nerf, but we'll leave that to Riot to decide, I guess. We'll see how Penn State decides to respond to that.
Do they want to take away the Caitlyn, or do they not care? Are they okay with going Varus?
Yeah,
What do you
they're
pair with
gonna...
Caitlyn? Bard?
Oh, the legendary Caitlyn Bard from Barrel. It's honestly pretty good, Caitlyn Bard. In the right hands, Caitlyn Bard's actually really fun and strong.
There's like this dream with it that you get in range, like double
Okay, it will be Caitlyn
Zonias,
Lux.
then you trap both. Yeah, Lux. Snore, boring, ZZ. No, Lux is understandable.
Yeah, that's just the classic Caitlyn Lux, Caitlyn Morgana, that type of thing.
And
And
the
yeah,
Varus.
they are gonna respond with the Varus. Yeah, it's reminding me of Worlds all over again. Rutgers should opt for this Varus though. It's like the standard response. Karma Varus versus Caitlyn Lux. That's pretty standard.
It'll be a
And-
long range scrap.
Yeah. Still gonna opt for the Hecarim though.
Yeah, Penn State okay with the Hecarim. It was a massive problem. One of the only problems, really, last game for Penn State was the hack, but they're okay with it.
That does mean that Predictable doesn't get to pick in this first half of the draft, which does leave the opportunity for like his Aatrox to get banned. We'll see how that ends up though. Penn State might just not care. They say, "Oh, our Camille's just better. We'll play Camille into Aatrox." So we'll see how they decide to respond. Rutgers does end up picking the Hecarim. I think Hecarim would do just about as well as last game based on the current comps picked. Karma was able to protect Caitlyn last time, but they have Lux this game too. Aatrox gets picked away actually, and they are gonna go with it. So I guess we'll just have to see what Predictable decides to play into this. Penn State is going to be able to, if they want to, they're going to be able to target ban the top lane away, and then they can save their counter pick mid. But we'll see what they decide to do. They might still ban the Zillion. Yeah,
Yup.
they are going to ban the Zillion. Zillion Hecarim is really annoying, and 200 IQ plays also just really good on the Zillion. So, smart thing, just ban it away.
I wonder what they want to try for 200 IQ this game. A Zira, perhaps?
Oh, they're
Do
going to
they not?
respect ban the Swain again.
Understandably.
Respecting the 2 picks from last game, which is completely understandable. They kind of got run over by those 2 picks. I do wonder what Predictable is going to end up trying to play here, though. Yeah, they're going to ban away 200 IQ plays is most played champs, or the ones I've seen him play the most anyways. Silas gone and the Zillion gone.
He might be okay with Mouse again. He's willing to try it again.
Yeah, I mean, Mouse could have worked again this game. Even has the Karma to speed him up. He's probably going to get counterpicked though here, so
Boy, they're really pinching jungle here.
Yeah, that's 3 bans to the jungle. We'll see, cause the Mouse did okay last game, but Penn State will be open to the counter pick.
You deer,
Although
yup.
Mouse is hard to pick.
It was the
Yeah.
last good jungle.
Udyr, pretty strong jungler. He farms about as fast as Hecarim, if I remember correctly. Jarvan.
Oh, playing scrappy. I like that. I like the J4 more than the Udyr.
Yeah. It's more fun
Playmaking.
to watch
Yeah,
because J4 is more focused on ganking as opposed to Udyr, who loves to just farm. So definitely get to see more scrappy fights. And Set for the Bruiser in the top lane. Set versus Aatrox. I think it might be Aatrox favored, but Set does scale into it if he builds Heartsteel.
if Predictable can team fight well with Set, he can put such a huge difference.
Yeah.
But Caitlyn Lux, it's really long range. They're gonna be like half a
Yeah,
screen
it's
away.
yeah, it's gonna be really hard for Paris
More
to go too
damage. I
much.
like that. More damage. More long range damage. Corky, I like that. You can scale.
I think it's he does have the W to get away from like the Jarvan EQ and the Aatrox QE forwards. We'll see if he does end up picking it. He does. He can
Nice.
also
There's like
the
a
counter pick is
solid.
also open.
There's a solid poke element to Rutgers Varsity's draft so far. I like that. It's easier to do that.
Yeah, but Penn State also has their own range element. They have Caitlyn Lux. Their Lux is also pretty stable. Their range is also pretty stable. If they add Syndra, yeah,
Mm.
then they'll also their range of their zone of control is also not small at all. So it'll be down to like I think it'll be down to like roughly the mechanics of how these players decide to play it out. The Rutgers Varsity White has a little bit of a stronger front line, if I had to guess, or if I had to say, because Set Set is obviously going to build a lot tankier than Aatrox.
Oh, and the team fight potential is packaged too, like Hecarim alt
Yeah.
package. Oh, it'll be a complete terrorist
or
attack.
Varus all into package. That's going to be a really Rutgers Varsity White has a lot of engage options here, and they have a lot of zone of control. They have the Corki R, they have the Varus R, and then Karma for poke and repositioning. And then they have the engage from Corki package, they have Set R, they have Hecarim R. So they can choose to play this two different ways. I think they should lean more towards the poke because they in general have a little bit more range than Penn State.
Syndra nerfed, by the way, or no? Is she still the same?
They did nerf Syndra, if I remember correctly.
Was
I
it
don't remember what
significant?
they nerfed. I think, I actually don't recall.
I don't think it was significant. I think Syndra could still be really annoying for this Corky in lane. Might get bullied a bit.
Yeah, we'll have to see though. If 200 IQ plays can last through lane, scale up, get to like 2-3 items, definitely be something to look out for. He's got to be careful of these Jarvan ganks though. Jarvan plus Syndra, they have pretty good gank setup. If he burns his W to dodge a Syndra QE, he might just get flag and dragged. But
Flag and drag.
but if he gets hit by the E, he might get hit anyways. So we'll have to see how he decides to avoid the ganks here.
You might get flag dragged and then bags, you know what I'm saying? Sheesh. I like that.
Yeah. I think, in my opinion, I think that this game should be a lot more focused towards the bot side of the map. I think both junglers should definitely be wary of their bot lane and mid lanes falling behind, because if for either team, if the bot lane or mid lane falls too far behind, they're just going to be lacking in so much damage. Less so for Penn State because they still have the Aatrox as a damage carry, but like Varsity White, if they fall too far behind, this set's never going to be able to deal damage to Caitlyn Lux. So they need to make sure either Corki or Varus stays online.
Yeah, indeed. I just have a bad feeling that it'll be another bot versus top. Like Penn State bot stronger with Caitlyn. This champ just pushes and gets plates like too easy. I don't even know.
Yeah, it is very concerning though if that ends up happening, because then Rutgers will be completely reliant on their ability to pick this Caitlyn and Syndra, because there's no way that Predictable's gonna be able to get a easy engage off on Caitlyn Lux or Syndra. especially with the Jarvan and Aatrox guarding them. I think it's just going to be a little bit too hard for predictable if he gets ahead, even if he gets ahead, to easily put down DPS on these long range carries. So we gotta hope that it doesn't come down to that, and Varus is able to 0-7's able to at least stay in the game. He does have the karma to match, so as long as they don't get hit by like a stray binding that ends up getting them chunked or killed, they should be fine in terms of damage output. Karma obviously has a lot of damage on her as well. It's not for no reason that in pro play Varus is picked into Caitlyn. He also scales pretty well. Depends on what build he's going, but if I had to guess, he's going poke. I don't think they're going to be playing very front to back-ish, so I don't know that on hit makes a lot of sense. So if my assumption is that he's going to be going poke with the Karma bot lane into Caitlyn Lux.
Yeah, I just hope he doesn't go the poke build. The poke build's sleeper.
Yeah, poke build's sleeper, but it's probably best here. It works with the Corki, although they do have the poke from Corki, so I think it'll be up to what 0-7 decides. We'll see what his runes end up being, but
Their comp will be really bursty if he does that, which isn't bad, but
yeah, if they can like burst down Syndra or Aatrox or Caitlyn with the poke Varus plus Corki, and then have a package engage of some sort, package engage or Hecarimar of some sort, they'll definitely be able to get something done. But on the side of Penn State, just really dangerous pick. We have Syndra, Jarvan, and Caitlyn Lux. Like, if a Lux binding lands on anybody later in the game, they're just dead, except for maybe predictable. If Nispro decides to go that heavy AD build again, he's going to get one shot by these players.
yeah. I don't know. Maybe Nispro will have a huge lead for J4.
Yeah, we'll have to see, but I think we're gonna go to a short break, and we'll be back in a minute or so with the game.
See you soon.
And we're back. Yeah, we got some information from the rune pages, and 0-7 does end up choosing to go for the on-hit builds.
Love to see it, lethal tempo. Oh, and this bot play is immediately scouted out. Predictable opting for Ignite against the Aatrox with TP, so we'll see if he can get a
Yeah.
lane advantage with that. CS, kill plates, howbeit.
Penn State's running all as a group together, looking
Yeah,
for something.
They could be planning a late invade, yeah.
They might find Nisril here, actually. No, he doesn't end up going for the forwards route, and they're not gonna see him.
It still could be a late invade angle. Do they have a scanner?
Jarvan already used it. Did find a word, so
No, they don't have, yeah. Hector might get caught out here. Oh, Corki sees it though.
Corki sees it?
Did Corki see it?
I don't know. I don't know if he saw it.
Oh, Corki didn't see it.
Oh,
Oh my
they
god,
didn't
this is
see it.
disastrous. Can they get the stun off on Hector?
He saw
Ooh.
them coming. He's just
Nice
gonna
try
lose the
from him.
red. Doesn't end up dying.
Yeah, not bad.
A little bit unfortunate. Ping is going towards the red buff from the bot lane. I don't know if they're gonna be able to find anything.
Corki gets the shove off on the first wave. The first wave immediately.
And Karma gets her RQ off, so just a little bit of damage going into the lane. Unfortunate for Nisril though, has to start his wolves and loses the red.
I'd love to see Rutgers bot lane poke at the start like this. They just need to keep this. Win off this, like honestly. Oh, J4 looking mid immediately. No vision on it.
Yeah.
Syndra
Like I
gets the
said,
stun.
Has the
W's
W
on
up.
it.
Yeah. I said in the draft, but like this mid lane really scary for Corki to play. Gonna be very vulnerable to ganks, and he's taking a ton of damage from the Syndra. And he gets hit by the EQ again. Just taking so much damage. Syndra seems to be a really good matchup into Corki. But bot lane, they have a pretty good lead. In terms of health. And they got the shove off into Caitlyn Lux, which is really good.
Yeah, and Nisril up here topside for like a dive, but
I think he's just gonna take the Raptors. Probably not gonna be able to dive. Needs just isn't low enough for them to do anything off a dive here. A little bit of damage, but it's just pressure.
meanwhile J4 heading bot immediately. Oh, he does go for blue buff, okay.
Predictable's taking just a lot of damage from this tower. It's gotta be careful. Don't want to
Nisril
trade too
ping
hard.
onto mid. He might
200
be
IQ
bailed
place
out.
is so low though.
Yeah, he might be bailed out. Here comes Nisril.
He's gonna look for the kill. No E on Syndra yet.
Oh,
Oh,
shit.
it comes back up. And this one
Nisril
does
knows
die.
that.
But that's still really good for 200 IQ plays. Flash for flash, but he gets the kill. It's first blood.
Was Nisril only level 2? Why didn't he do the... I think Nisril might have misplayed that.
Good flash from music is nice. Just getting out safely. They have such a good health lead in the spot lane. Jarvan just came, so there is pressure on them, but they have such a good lead here.
Oh yeah, and wave is good too.
As long as Owen 10 farms all these minions, he's up by 1 CS. And the wave is good, they're up health. Nisril is down here, so he should be able to be there for the counter gank. Good trades in the top lane. Saki TTV is so low. Tag
Both
lead
junglers
activity.
here.
Both
Jarvan
junglers
shows
are here.
face first.
Jarvan's here first, but it should just be a walkout. Yeah, abilities are just missing
Ooh,
everywhere.
Karma stun might land. Oh, Karma goes
Karma's
down with the
dead.
ignite. Kind of greeting for a Caitlyn
Cleanse.
kill. Caitlyn knows the limits, kind of sticks around, tanks it, keeps her interested.
This
Oh,
was
here
looking
comes-
for it.
Does he get Lux too? No.
No, he just has to
Oh,
look out.
0-7 flashes doesn't get
You
it.
miss. A little bit of a tragedy. Are no sums on Lux. Predictable hard trading into needs cure. Nothing much really happening though. They are really low though. There is some kill pressure for both here. Needs flashes, doesn't actually get the kill. Predictable is staying with no health.
Yeah, kind of
That's-
bluffing that jungler's here or something. Oh wow, Aatrox respects it.
EQ flash.
The wave
Music
might
is
be
nice.
that-
It's level 3 mid lane and gets ulted by hit activity. And predictable does get punished for staying here so long after the match.
A little too curious mid, yeah. Hecarim, music is nice. Might have thought Hecarim was right behind him, but
This
Hecarim has
was
to
just
keep going top.
farming. Yeah, that was a little bit unfortunate because he's currently level 3, and he walked up and he got EQ flashed by the Jarvan, and then gets ulted by Syndra and loses 100% of his HP. That's just a little bit.
Oh, and
That's
this
just a
was looking
level
onto mid.
difference there.
Gets the
On mid
pushback.
again.
Lovely.
No R on the Caitlyn or Syndra. Should be
And
dead.
that's enough.
Good shutdown for Corki.
Nice, nice. I like to see jungle mid together first. Up 200 IQ. Get him through laning phase. Predictable will
Yeah.
probably be okay.
And so both mid laners actually do have 2 kills, and the CS is
Oh.
still pretty even.
J4 face checking J. Park Hecarim, wow. He's allowed to freeze that wave. I'm pinging like a maniac here if I'm Corki.
Yeah, so both kills on the mid laners means that they're still really even in gold. And so that situation that I mentioned in draft isn't happening
Ooh,
yet.
all in
where-
coming in from bot. 0-7 takes
Oh.
him down. It started with a root onto Karma, but couldn't get the trap follow up and they turned it.
Yeah, that's really good for Rutgers White. They love to see just some free leads early on in the game. Predictable's going for solo. I don't know if he'll find it. No ignite up.
Yeah, J4
Jarvan is
hovering.
here.
Hecarim on the dragon. And Predictable doesn't give anything. It's very net game.
He sees the Jarvan. He shouldn't walk up. His wave's kind of in a bad spot, but Jarvan shouldn't be able to kill him as long as he doesn't walk too far up. They're looking for him. And
Corki
200
looking to
IQ
defend
is-
topside camps.
I think
to
he's
see
just
that.
looking to see the blue, and Jarvan is going to end up taking it. We'll see
Yep.
if 200 IQ plays responds here. He does see it. He knows it's happening.
Nor wasn't even
And-
pinging that hard. Defend my camp! Some of these junglers will just be spamming there.
A lot of pings from blue side on the Rift Herald here. I think they're not looking to take it, but they're wondering whether or not the Jarvan is on it. Yeah, and this role's not even there. They're just looking for vision on it. I think they think that Filthy Gamer is on it right now, but he's not. This role looking for mid again.
Ooh, really crazy. Still gets the pushback on Syndra.
He's
I made it
dead.
very
He's
close
so
enough.
squishy.
Karma's
This
here for
build just
backup
makes
though.
him so squishy.
Is there enough DPS from Corki? Wow.
They're really low. Corki can just get all of them, baby.
Oh, Karma flash Q misses.
Oh, the
Corki
W
flashes
saves.
hits again.
Oh,
3 for 3. On the important
such
ones.
a good plays. And Syndra doesn't have R, which means Corki's just able to stay. And in the bot lane, 0-7 does win the 1v1, I'm pretty sure. Has more items. Has just better stats than Adaptivity. Should be able to just win the 1v1s.
Yeah, kind of alpha him a bit.
Yeah, just forcing off CS. Forces the cleanse, that's just really, really good from 0-7. And looks like Rutgers, they're in control of this game. They're gonna look for this top dive, maybe. I don't know how well this one goes.
Caitlin's calling.
Especially with the TP.
Caitlin's calling her boys to get this Varus. 0-7's on vision.
Oh,
Is Lux gonna look?
0-7.
Lux isn't even looking though. Lux J4 aren't even.
Oh,
Here
they
they
are
go.
looking. They are looking. He's in danger. He's not.
Oh, it's a
Responding
point
to
blank
it.
barrel stuff.
With the cleanse.
Oh, that's
Still gets
enough.
ulted. He's dead.
Corki TP.
Oh, if that ulti landed, he might have been able to find something there.
He stings. He stings.
Yeah, he has this full Ravenous completed. He's just really strong. Unfortunate for 0-7. He wasn't in that dangerous of a position, but when there's that many players there and all their ults are up, you just can't be there. It was a little bit too greedy on the back, I'd say. If he had just backed under his tower, he would have seen it coming sooner. And he wouldn't have had to burn his sums, maybe. He could have just either backed off the tier 2, or he just dies without blowing sums.
And Karma and Heck will take down the Herald. They were hovering Predictable for a while, looking for something on Aatrox, but he was playing passive and didn't give them anything.
200 IQ plays is 4-0, but he's down a little bit of farm to Zalt here. I think they're gold. In terms of gold, 200 IQ plays is still up, but it's not by much. Definitely no outstanding gold leads between all the players, but both mid laners are definitely a lot more ahead of the rest of the team. If we look at the CS, both mid laners up like 20 CS on their top laners and 20
Corky
CS on their
pinging
80
hell bot lane.
carries. They know he's there.
Corky wants a piece of this bot lane.
They also know that Nispral's there. It's probably not going to be... They're not going to be able to find anything. And Red side has vision everywhere. Tribrush is warded. They were able to see that 0-7 is here.
Predictable going to
Although,
defend top camps yet
might
again.
not matter.
And the dive comes in. Misses the fear.
Ult. Inactivity's dead to Karma though. And
Oh, yeah,
they
that
just
should be enough.
get one for free.
Syndra's rotating there to cover.
0-7 is just tanking tower.
Wait,
Oh,
what the heck?
died for free.
0-7. Oh no, and the dive is disaster now. And meanwhile, top side,
Predictable's 1v2ing. I don't think
Yeah.
he wins though.
defending top camps, he got a little scrappy.
Yeah, and that dive, it was okay, but Nispral missed the R, and then 0-7 tanks 2 tower shots for free and dies. And then Zaltate is obviously, or yeah, Zaltate is just able to show up and get another kill off. And meanwhile, top side, they're just losing so much because they committed 4 players
Oh,
and
what a
still
no.
lost. They had the lead.
package comes out top.
Package?
It's over a scuttle crab, by the way.
Does he get the kill here?
He has vision again?
Close. He just needs to land the R's. One more? Oh! Lives 1 HP.
Wow.
Just not quite enough damage. A little bit.
That's so sad. He was burning too with corrupting potion, or what was that? Yeah, it was corrupting potion.
Yeah.
I thought corrupting would do it.
I thought for sure that Sultan Gamer was dead there, but guess not. There's a lot of players mid here.
Yeah, they want to get
Wonder
mid
I
prio and then invade together. Wow.
Oh,
Oh,
dragon for
Dragon's
the
up.
dragon, but Nisral's just stealing it away. Yeah, he's gonna get it before they show up.
How can they all get out though?
I don't know if Nisral gets out here.
Take
He's really
Syndra out.
fast.
That was pretty
No.
clean.
Yeah, he's just really fast. Oh my
Syndra's
god,
1
Syndra's
HP.
so low.
Oh, Karma.
Despite
It's a rebind on Caitlyn. Oh, the turn looks good.
good cleanse, but doesn't matter. He's
Yeah,
dead.
put that Q into Lux.
Saki
Yeah.
TTV is so low.
Aatrox ults. Looking to turn. Predictable not. Doesn't have TP. Can't come. Oh, J4 cleanup onto Heck.
Really messy fight, and they're not able to find any of the kills. Syndra
Oh,
and
no.
Lux are so low.
Aatrox cleaned up everybody.
Yeah, that just puts Penn State solidly in the lead again. They as a consolation prize, Predictable does end up getting the first tower there, and the bot tower is really low.
Yeah, and
But
they have 2
still-
drags. They're winning on objectives, but their fights keep getting turned.
That's like 2 big fights in a row where their positioning was just not quite correct, and then they end up on the losing end. I do have to say, Adaptivity is 0-4 right now, but he's not down any CS.
No, he's been trying to keep
Yeah.
pressure up.
He's not down anything to 0-7 right now. In terms of gold and in kills, or NCS, he's just keeping it pretty even. I think he is down a little bit of gold just because of the objectives that have been taken around the map, and the fact that 0-7 got a kill, but still, he's
Global
keeping it
gold
pretty
is dead even. Oh, turret up. Now it's a little bit skewed for Rutgers, crazily enough.
We gotta keep an eye on Zaltate for sure. He's 5-2 on the Syndra. Phil's gamer as well is pretty fed, but he's Jarvan and he's building Bruiser, so he's not going to be dealing quite as much damage as the Syndra, who's about to finish Shadow Flame.
Yeah, and she's up like 30 CS on 200 IQ plays. Rutgers is most fed carry.
Yeah, gotta keep an eye on the Syndra. With the ults, like in the last fight, she was just able to like 100 to 0. I don't remember who she ulted, but Yeah, the is gonna be really scary from Syndra. He's gonna deal a lot of damage to literally all members of Rutgers, especially since predictable opts to go for work first, which does mean he's gonna end up being a lot squishier. And I don't think Rutgers can actually contest this. Zaltate just finished his Shadow Flame. He's the strongest player on the map, and yeah, they're just gonna give it up. No package for Corki means that he just can't take this fight. Syndra's so scary, and no. Once again, this role went for the lethality build when his team kind of needs a frontline. Don't know how good that's gonna be.
Verisol lands on luck. One shot into Caitlyn. TP coming out from 2-shot IQ. Can they clean up the luck?
Oh, and
the ult finishes off. Oh, he's firing shots blindly at Lux.
Top lane, predictable just gets a solo kill. Music is nice, should be able to just clean the Lux, but
Pokemon on the way out, don't let him run. Ooh, a lot of damage. Ooh.
Well, Gamer maybe gets out. This world does so much damage.
That's another
actually.
big shutdown. That's a dub. Syndra, slippery.
Syndra is slippery and does so much damage. I'm pretty sure that she didn't even need to ult 0-7 there. 0-7 was like an auto off of dying after the QE. Just an insane amount of damage. Rutgers does have an insane amount of damage of their own. Of their own though. Hecarim, I just wasn't expecting that damage out of him. Like I was saying before the fight broke out, he's going for the damage build again. And I was gonna say I don't know how well that's gonna turn out because his team is really squishy. But I mean, if he's able to output his damage and kill the carries, then maybe it does work out.
Yeah, he's looking for the right targets though. He just wants to get on Caitlyn, get on Lux, disrupt them, help other people get onto them.
Yeah, but
and Syndra too ultimately. But
I think even he needs to be careful because he might just get one shot.
Shit, what the fuck?
Predictable's papping bot here. Aatrox has TP though. He could TP if Penn State is looking to like get in there.
Yeah, but they're just gonna take Dragon. Up 3 Dragons now. That is Soul Point. And it is
huge.
Infernal Soul, which means they're going to be dealing a lot of damage.
With a poke comp.
Yeah, Corki especially is going to be really annoying for Penn State to deal with. We'll see if he just gets one shot though. Like you like when you're building like the squishy Hecarim build and like everyone on Rutgers' side is squishy, you just have to always be scared that one Syndra EQ just 100 to 0-0 and then you lose one of your core carries. Like if for example, Mistral ults in and then immediately gets hit by EQR from Syndra and dies, like Rutgers just completely loses out on their. Oh my god, it's just disgusting damage.
No, I feel you on that. But who tanks the damage then? Who? Set? Doesn't have TP. Set needs to be there first then maybe.
Yeah, but Set's not even building tank, so it's just. I think that even though Rutgers has like a solid grasp on this game, they have the Infernal Soul Point, they're even in gold, their Corki is scaling, their Hecarim can one-shot, they still have to be really, really careful of Zaltate. They have to make sure that he isn't able to get his damage off, or they still will lose fights even if they're up gold, even if they have soul.
Yeah.
The draft from Penn State. Yeah, the draft from Penn State just allows them, just like even if they're behind, as long as one person has a certain amount of gold, NECC just one-shots the members of Rutgers, especially with no tank builders from Rutgers' side. Like, if Lux hits bind, Caitlyn presses R, Lux presses R, and Syndra presses R, literally any member of Rutgers dies, regardless.
Yep. Syndra at 98 stacks. She's very close to the 100 and the 120 mark.
And they're gonna start up the Baron. I don't know how advisable this is. They do see 200 IQ plays on the bot lane, but he has TP.
Both of them have TP. They both might use it, but they might be snuck. Karma's recalling.
I don't know if they know.
Oh, they're gonna get in here so late. Corky's TPing. They know
They're
now.
not gonna be able to.
Oh, they panicked. They panicked. They
Wait,
got off. Syndra's tanking.
Zalhate is too low. He's gonna die.
Huge, huge, huge. That's so ideal.
200 IQ plays gets the shutdown. That's just insanely good for Rutgers, and they're gonna turn to the Baron now.
Here's Aatrox. Aatrox went mid.
They do have to be careful. Their health bars aren't too healthy. Aatrox could just walk in. And
They
do
have
a
so
bunch of
many ults
damage.
still. They have Bear Assault still. And set. And
Predictable is low. Hecarim dueling the Aatrox.
and tanks it. Nice.
Aatrox almost dies there.
Wow, the game is so close. Huge shutdown though. Syndra died
Yeah.
finally.
I think Penn State overcommitted there, and then they panicked. Like they either needed to stay on the Baron there, or get off faster, because when they panicked like that, and Zalhate ended up tanking the Baron, and then he just went down instantly to any of Rutgers breathing on him. It ended up being 200 IQ plays who took the shutdown there, but
That's good. That's good.
yeah, definitely
Oh, he's
really
going
good
the
for
poke
Rutgers.
build too. Love that.
Yeah, he's about to finish his mana immune. Doesn't quite have any more gold, so he's not gonna finish the Ludens anytime soon, as if he doesn't get anything.
Ooh, J4 looking out the ball lane immediately. Doesn't ult.
And he just takes damage for it. Not too much damage. Not gonna be anything that matters for now. And they're just gonna set up for Dragon. Rutgers really wants this. This is Dragon Soul. Syndra's about to finish her death cap. That's going to be really scary. But
Ooh, Karma flashing.
this is EQ. And Jarvan misses the EQ, and then Karma flashes anyways. Kind of funny. I mean, if the EQ did land there, did have to flash out of respect.
Ooh, big
but
poke on the Syndra and Lux.
Root on Lux.
Ooh, Lux one
Lux
shot.
dead.
Oh, can Syndra get one shot too?
Going in.
Yes, Nor gets them both. And
Wow.
then he falls too. Wow.
Rutgers playing that really well. I don't even know that 200 IQ plays was even part of that fight.
June, or Music is Nice, got a nice fat Q. He just flashed away and kind of looked like a clown, but then he found Syndra and Lux together, and they were slowed and
Yeah.
chunked and just
And
vulnerable.
then Nispril was able to ult in. Syndra wasn't able to press her EQ to get him off, and she just dies. It's just really well played by Rutgers, I guess. They're
These
able to
fights are
find
close
it.
though.
Yeah, even though Nispril's not building tank, does have the damage, and he did manage to do his job. He one-shot the carries.
But like you said, if Syndra goes down first, it's so much easier.
Yeah, it's got to be a lot easier for the side of Rutgers. I mean, honestly, Syndra's the most of the damage from Rutgers, or from Penn State, because Kalen's not dealing much damage. She's only 1.5 items in. And Lux is building Ludens, but it doesn't do much. Syndra finishes the death cap, and they do get the Infernal Dragon away, so that does stall the Rutgers' soul point. Rutgers opting for the Baron over the Infernal Soul. Don't know how correct of a decision that is, but Infernal Dragon wasn't even up yet, so it's probably the correct play on their part to go for the Baron. I don't know if they could have contested if they had gone straight back, but Corky has package now, so they can maybe look for a fight with their Baron.
Looking for someone top, but no one's straggling up there. Look at Corky's positioning. Oh, they see him. Oh, they see him, but he doesn't know he's been spotted.
He should be able to just package out just fine. They're not going to be able to find anything. Wow. Varsity
Yeah.
does a lot of damage. He's not even building poke.
Yeah. You don't need it to one-shot to still be a poker.
This bro's just farming so fast. This 80 Hecarim build looks so fun. I might just try it out in my ranked games first time.
Oh, looking out the J4. Huge chunk, but that's it. Corky
Yeah.
responded to the Aatrox.
Yeah, because Corky is the one that has the TP, so Set, unfortunately, without the TP, isn't able to respond to Aatrox as easily because can't rotate to the fights. Lux dead again? Maybe? No,
Ooh,
it's
flashes.
fine. Flashes the Q. I don't even know if that would have filled. I didn't check whether or not the W was up, but
Ooh, J4 ults onto Varus,
Seven.
flashes
That's
out.
the flash.
Ooh, big Syndra.
No.
Not enough damage. Gets the Q follow-up kill. He comes in.
Syndra's dead.
Hecarim
This was in the
comes in.
back line.
J4
Rutgers
and
is
Lux
just gonna
fall.
wipe.
The Hecarim.
Tank.
Varus takes that.
I'm surprised. Syndra's ult did not do a lot of damage to 0-7. I thought it was going to do more, but the shield will block so much. Oh, it's because he has a wit's end, so the damage is just not there for ult hate for one shot. And honestly, I don't even know if Vars is the one that Penn State has to worry about. Corki has 6 kills, although Corki, again, wasn't there in that fight.
Oh,
And
Caitlyn
activity
face
is
checking a
just-
set. Ugh.
That's unfortunate. Even wastes the
Ignite,
cleanse.
Didn't Predictable have to ignite though?
I don't know if Predictable had to ignite, and I don't think 8 activity should have cleansed there, but that's unfortunate. Just walking in, face checking, and there just happens to be a set in your jungle.
He might have cleansed the stun and the ignite, which is kind of cool, but... Oh! Predictable finding Secret 2 walking in! Oh, nothing though.
Predictable's just farming these picks.
It's
Well, he
just
doesn't get
posted
that
up.
one. Doesn't quite get that one, but still, just...
Kind of making his team deal with the Aatrox though.
Yeah, that's just because of the nature of the matchup, because he doesn't bring the TP.
They're kind of
in favor of
avoiding each other.
Ignite. So he has... So, Neats is probably just gonna try avoiding Predictable, in a sense, to force other members to deal with him. Because the TP advantage means that he can be anywhere, and Predictable has to be near the fights if he wants to do anything. And Zaltate also has TP, so able to just side lane. But Predictable is kind of in an awkward situation where if he tries to farm a side lane that's opposite side of the fights, then he's not gonna be able to get to the fights in time without his TP. But the people who are matching him are, unless he gets some sort of CC off. So it's just a trade-off he has to make. And I think that Syndra might have just gotten her 120th sack, so that
Yeah.
does mean that they're gonna have a lot more AP.
And fourth drag
Um,
again for Rutgers. So Penn State.
They're definitely gonna fight it this time. Does
Hecarim's deep in here already. I'm looking onto Aatrox. Aatrox might be caught.
Aatrox is caught. I'm pretty sure Aatrox might die
Ooh,
here.
Not the best Hecarim
Nisprel's-
angle, but
Nisprel's
Is it enough?
there. It's not
not
enough.
enough.
Nisprel doesn't do quite enough damage. Aatrox finishes Jock Shell. Oh my god.
Ooh.
That
Do
was
they have a
such a
wave?
good ultra predictable. They don't
they stay
actually have a
bot?
wave. They're gonna get the dragon.
I guess you do mid
and-
and bot inhibs, right?
Yeah. They're definitely gonna take 2 towers and hopefully an inhib as well. And they're gonna get probably
AoE.
both inhibs. Yeah,
The
that
AoE was just so good.
Quirky package coming up in about a minute.
Varus, he hit everybody. Karma, RQ hit everybody. Shit.
Karm's not even building AP, but it still does so much damage. I'm surprised that Aatrox didn't end up dying there, but I guess that's just from Jockshow being broken. But
Aatrox
yeah,
defense bot turret. Not bad. Only mid him falling.
predictable dodges the Q. I don't think they're gonna be able to find him. A lot of pings going down on predictable here, actually. There's a mess of things here, but I don't
Thanks
think
from
they're gonna
both
be-
teams.
Yeah,
They're
I think
willing
gonna-
to 5v5 right there. It's because
They really want
Ash.
to 5v. Yeah, no, they really want to 5v5 around this red buff actually. But jokes aside, looking really good for Rutgers here. Orky is online, has 3 items, has the Hex Drinker, so he's not going to get poked by Syndra. Bars also has Wits, and he has the Rage Blade shield bow, so he also does he outputs a lot of damage and doesn't get one shot by Syndra. And this roll has his Maul finished, so it's also really hard for Syndra to one shot. And on the side of Penn State, this Caitlyn has 0 kills still, as a 0-8 score line, doesn't have the IE finished, so it's just really hard for Penn State to win. Jordan actually plays the zoning by himself with the package. And this roll is just gonna find 8 activity there. Oh my, god. He just hate to be AD
And
carry
Syndra
here.
and J4 are kind of crunched in between everybody. Jesus.
Predictable jumping over.
Still has the
Gets
W.
off.
Ooh.
I would
Michael.
I would not like to be 8 activity here. He just keeps getting run down. He's not even strong.
I was 0-7's POV last game though.
Yeah,
Oh,
that's
Lux is
true.
just- This damage from
that's-
200 IQ.
Yeah, that should just be game. Penn State is aced, and I guess we're gonna get a game 3 in the grand finals. This is the
The
best.
Rutgers Fireside 2022.
Yeah, there you go. Got it right this time. And this bro is just gonna get a free kill. He actually killed that. That's crazy. Finishes. Make sure 8 activity gets a nice 0-10 there. Really good game from Rutgers. Zoltate, he got his items and he just wasn't able to carry it, unfortunately. Rutgers finished their magic resist items and then Zoltate wasn't able to do anything. 8 activity kept getting one shot. I was questioning Nispro's damage build, but I guess it works out there. Just able to one shot everything. And yeah, that's all I gotta say. You got anything else, Tom?
Nothing too big on my part. I mean, I'm just hyped Rutgers is making this a competitive one. So we're going to a game 3. I'm hyped. I'm excited.
Yeah. But I think we'll see you guys in game 3.
See you in a minute.
And we're back for Hype Game 3, hopefully. Tom had to go, so now I'm here with Dan.
There we go. But now my mic is picking up. All right, yeah. Game number 3, Fireside, grand finals. And you guys
Same bands
saw, you
from
guys wanted
Penn
it.
State.
We're going to decide in game number 3, and I can't wait. I can't wait for this. This is going to be so insane. $800 is on the line. We forgot to mention that.
I don't think we mentioned that.
We haven't
If
mentioned
you're in
that.
if you're in the Rutgers League server, though, you would have known that from our announcement. But yeah, $800 on the line. Join the Rutgers League Discord, guys.
True. Right.
If you're not already
Rutgers
in.
League Discord, get in there. Yes. Go. I am also a little bit sick, so if I start coughing, I'm gonna try to like mute that, you know.
Yeah, but right away, similar bans across the board. Then Mordekaiser left open from Rutgers, and Penn State does opt to pick the Karma. We'll see if Rutgers decides to pick away the Caitlyn. And we saw how that worked last time, so
the Hecarim just being an absolute nuisance with that 81 full 81 shot. The night,
yeah, I was
night
counting
blue
on
special.
it,
but either way, we're gonna go into this. Swain also.
That does leave the Seraphine open.
Yeah,
so
Swain and Nelulia also going to be banned because too big of a front.
Seraphine's open for 0-7, so
0-7 definitely.
If I recall, he does play this champ a lot. Oh, that's an Udyr pick.
Udyr's going to be hovered around.
Yeah, I want to see the Echo. Where's the Echo? Isn't that's the signature,
Echo,
right?
Yeah, the Nisral special definitely is that signature Echo, but you know, it's going to be hard to figure out if you want to play that or not, especially when it's
this
very
early
in the draft. Yeah, and Udyr is actually going to be picked up. We'll see what type of Udyr he's going to go. You go for the full AP Night Harvester.
I don't remember.
AP one-shot build.
I saw the full AD
with the Prowler's Claw. That's also an option.
I saw that one going around. They're gonna pick Ash.
I have a feeling they're gonna go for that. Ash definitely not the pick
Ash
here.
Hovered.
Jhin definitely is much better.
I
would very much rather the Jhin being locked in than the Ash, but we'll see. Yep.
Jhin definitely does more damage. It's a Seraphine bot. 0-7 does play that a lot. That's what was being banned by Penn State in the previous 2 games, but they opted to ban Hecarim instead. Yep. I wonder if they're going to pick away the Aatrox again after what happened last game.
We'll see. The Aatrox is always highly contested, or at least in the past couple patches, but we'll see. It's actually going to be the Jungle counter. Zach
counters Udyr? I don't know. I haven't seen both those champions in my games in a bit, so it does mean that Penn State has more frontline than they did last game, so Rutgers isn't going to be getting away with any 81 shots here, although the Hecarim is banned regardless. So Seraphine Janna.
It's gonna that's definitely going to give away a lot of things that Rutgers Varsity White wants to do. You lock in the Seraphine and the Janna in the bot lane. You're missing out on DPS. If Rutgers gets their main DPSs banned out, or something that they want to use gets banned out, they're in a very rough spot. I think it would have been much better if they picked like something like a DPS mid laner, like the Akshan or the Tristana, something along those lines, instead of the Janna being picked. I think the Janna pick is a little too early.
Yeah, Rutgers right now, the bot lane is going to be so squishy. They're really immobile and easy to gank. And this is a Zac, right? So the Janna has to be able to knock up the E, or they might just die.
It really shouldn't be.
It shouldn't be that hard. But if they mess it up, they're definitely just going to die for free or blow their flashes.
To be fair, music is nice. Would have a lot of options. The tornado, even the monsoon with the ulti. So it could work in their favor, but we'll see. At this point, the Syndra are going to be banned out, as well as the Azir. Azir also a decent DPS option for Rutgers White, and that will be swiftly banned away.
Honestly, I don't know if Rutgers would have picked the Azir because Azir's magic damage and their Rutgers bot lane is all magic damage right now. Unless this Udir's building AD, they're not gonna have like any AD damage if they pick the Azir. But it's banned regardless, so it doesn't really matter. We'll see what Penn State decides to ban for their final ban, but
If you're just to deny that split push potential from Penn State,
yeah, Rutgers definitely looking more of a death ball comp. They have Seraphine, they have Janna. Udir's a really strong front line for that type of comp, so
the Aatrox actually going to be the
Aatrox
final
is
ban.
banned.
Pretty good ban, I would say. Does deny that highly contested pick that both these teams really like going. But
Wukong?
Wukong is going to be hovered. And it'll
It's
be
pig.
quickly locked in. Yeah.
So there's
there's
that,
the front
that
line.
is
There's the front
yeah.
line that we want to see.
It's a front line and the 80 damage.
Another question.
And it's really good with death ball.
Another question
but...
is, what does Are You White go with the DPS mid lane? We know, or it could be a mid lane, but then again, the Seraphine could also be flexed into the mid lane. Hence they
That's
do need to
true.
watch out for that. I think Too Much IQ Plays actually does play the Seraphine mid a couple times, but I'm not entirely too sure. But we'll see what the final locks are going to be.
Caitlyn is still open.
Caitlyn definitely is still open. The Jax will be top lane pick for Penn State, assuming that the Wukong is going to go top lane. What are your thoughts on that matchup?
Wukong versus Jax. Wukong has the spacing advantage. His Q, I believe, does slightly outrange Jax E, and even if it doesn't, if you time it correctly, you will outspace it. But a lot of Wukong's damage is coming from his auto attacks, especially early game. So Jax definitely going to be hard for Wukong to kill in the early game, or hard to trade into if the Jax plays it correctly. But later in the game, Jax's Wukong gets his R, which is a lot of damage that Jax just can't block with his E. I think that level 6, Wukong definitely has the gank set up to kill the Jax there.
Ooh, this is
and Wukong is also really hard to gank.
This is very strange.
Taliyah?
Does this Taliyah go through? Yes, it does.
So it's a Taliyah mid into Victor.
I would assume Rutgers White would go for a DPS bot or DPS pick, but it seems like they want to go with the Taliyah. To be fair, there is a Jax in the game, so there's definitely an argument that Are You White doesn't go for the DPS, AD heavy, auto heavy mid laner. This is definitely a very strange draft coming in from Rutgers White.
Yeah, I'm not really sure what to make of it, but I guess we'll just have to see how this game goes. If I had to guess, the Taliyah does play pretty well into the Zac and the Jax, so that could be the mindset that Rutgers has here. But again, I'm just not completely sure what they're going for here. Who knows? Maybe I don't know the mid lane matchups too well. Maybe Taliyah plays well into Victor. I don't know if you have any opinions on that.
It's just I'm not really too sure right now because Are You White? They don't have the best early game. That's the big one right now. Their early game is pretty bad.
Yeah,
so
if they get to later stages of the game, they can death ball and run it down.
Definitely, if they can get to that point. The problem is getting there. You know?
Yeah, it's definitely going to be unstable early game for Rutgers. We'll see if the Udyr is probably the only pick that's relatively strong early. Udyr is also not bad early game.
Yeah, Udyr in this role.
Yeah,
this role definitely needs to put in work. He needs to put in the work. He's the one that needs to go for those plays in the early game. Wukong as well is also very strong in the early game.
But Jax is also strong, so we'll see how.
Wouldn't be surprised if the Udyr goes for a lot of top lane presence. You never know.
Yeah.
Any opportunity can present itself. This is all theoretical, you know.
I think it is best with the comp that Rutgers White drafted that they play like Seraphine Janna weak side. They just play back and farm, and then Nispel tries to gank top a lot with the work with the Wukong, get Wukong ahead, and then have Wukong convert the lead. I just don't know what's going to happen with the Zac ganking, because Zac is very deadly in ganks. So if Talia is caught off guard, or if the bot lane is caught off guard with like Janna Tornado down, it could spell the easy double kill in the bot lane or just a free kill in the mid. So it's gonna be a lot of this game is gonna revolve around. I think it's gonna be revolving around Field Gamer's ability to avoid vision and get surprise ganks off. And of course, the mechanical skill of the individual players, as always. If Penn State's bot lane is able to do anything against the Seraphine Janna with a lot of healing and shielding, or if Zaltate is just able to outplay 200 IQ players in the mid lane and get some solo kills, or the top lane, of course,
there is a
just
lot
any
of
of the
things
lanes.
going against Are You White right now. If this early game becomes catastrophic on the side of Rutgers, this game definitely will end very quickly. But if Rutgers do end up holding the fort till they get their items, we might be in for a banger of a game. So we'll see what the how the game turns out, because it can honestly go either way. If Penn State plays the early game perfectly, they will sweep this game number 3. But if Rutgers White, they manage to hold on, they manage to turtle, they manage to get items, scale, it definitely could turn the tides of this game, and everything is up in the air right now. It all depends. It all depends on the skill matchup at this point.
Yeah, it's gotta be careful of the one words. One of the major things to note here is that even if Rutgers like assembles their full death ball with like Seraphine as the shielding, Wukong with your front line, with Wukong R for peel and engage, and John R for disengage, Victor R still, if Victor gets too strong, Victor R will just one-shot them while they're in their death ball. So that is something to watch out for. But they did draft like a pretty good death ball. They have a ton of disengage. They have Wukong R, Janna R, Seraphine R, and then Talia also has a shove. So I think that if we get to see Rutgers advance to like their late game phase when they hit all their items and they group up as 4 or 5, they will become unkillable. And it just a matter of whether or not they can reach that stage before the enemy team, or well, Penn State finishes like their full build and just one shots all of them.
Oh boy. Any closing thoughts before we head into this break though? This is gonna be a spicy matchup. I'm gonna be honest.
I don't got
game,
much.
This game can get volatile very quickly, and we'll see if that'll actually be the case. But if you have anything else to close with, I think it'll be safe for us to head into a short break, and we come back. Deciding game number 3. Don't go anywhere.
And we're back, for this game 3, deciding game of Rutgers Fireside 2022 for, what was it, $800?
$800 on the line, yes. And this is indeed the final game of Fireside 2022. So if you've been missing out, now is the time to tune in. Get everyone, get your friends, get everything, get water. I need water. I'm gonna cough so many times on this stream. I'm calling it right now.
Yeah, and for anybody who hasn't been keeping up with the tournament, Rutgers coming back from the losers bracket after losing to Penn State already in the winners bracket. They're back from the losers bracket for the grand finals.
It's a rematch.
And
it's that rematch. And before,
last time they lost 2-0, but
before this, some statistics on the side of Penn State. Them losing game number 2 was the second game they dropped. That was their second game. Meaning, most of their matchups have been a clean 2-0 sweep. So if Rutgers Varsity White do win this game number 3, this is going to be the biggest upset of the tournament, I would say.
Yeah, especially since Penn State is the first seed, so they were expected to win, at least by, I believe it was the e-board that made these brackets.
They are the number 1 seed.
Yeah.
Yes, Neat's going the hockey skin. I like that. We like that.
Definitely one of the better skins on Jax.
True. I like, every time I like walk out of base, I like snake around, make it look like I'm dribbling like a hockey puck. So funny. Anyway.
Yeah. Definitely some very fun skins.
In League of Gamer Legends. Actually started with the Raptors. Definitely an
he was spotted out on his red by a ward. I don't know who placed it. I think it might have been Nispral, but it was spotted. He was spotted out. And there's going to be a ward on the blue too from 200 IQ plays.
There. A bit of a ward. Definitely
jungle tracking.
In this game,
jungle tracking very important this game.
Yes, this is the big one. Jungler is going to be the main focus of this game. They're going to be the ones that dictate who wins this early game, who wins this coming out of laning phase. Because if you look on RU White's side, they are not looking so hot. And speaking of which, this early game is going to get very volatile really quickly as 200 IQ plays forced to use the flash.
He did know that Full Gamer was bot side, but I guess he just wasn't expecting a gank at this timing.
Like you said, the awkward visions, awkward gank timers, awkward timing, I guess.
Yeah, but it's just Full Gamer really looking for the element of surprise here in order to get these ganks off.
Ooh, look at this top presence coming in from this world. Does go for the full clear. It is already level 4.
He's on a ward.
He is on a ward indeed. Wants to go for it, but actually hesitates a little bit, and will actually go. He's thinking about it. He wants to look for something, but there is a Zac on the blue buff. We'll see what the decision comes in to be for Nispral. Herald is alive. They can most definitely go for that. Let's see what happens here, though. A little bit of a trade coming down the bot lane. Roots are coming in to follow up from Adaptivity. Is good with the Deadly Flourish, but it looks like Nispral will just back out, play it safe, and we'll just settle with the Scuttle.
Yeah. And looks like there's just gonna be no kills. Nispral is looking topside. This wave is big, but Neats isn't low. So I don't know if they're gonna be able to get anything there.
This wave is pushing in favor of predictable,
and
so
Neats is too high on health.
Yeah. Nothing too big's gonna happen here, but Nispral is hanging around, hopefully looking for an opportunity. It just won't present itself. Him and Predictable will just hold hands, back away, get their items, and then go from there. And look at this though, back in the mid lane. Which IQ Play's gonna get stunned up a little bit, but is he gonna live? Yes, he will.
Is. Still Gamer is so low.
Yeah, he had no flash, and he still managed to survive the gank.
A lot of damage coming out from the bot lane of Penn State, but it looks like they're just none of this damage is gonna stick. Double Enchantress bot lane.
It doesn't look like. Oh no, he's gonna slow down.
Yeah, there's vision there, and Karma Jim, they can get away really fast. They might not have a lot of mobility, but they do have a lot of move speed, so... Top lane, Wave is shoving. I don't think Meats can get anything here, though.
Just trying to go for some
Yeah,
damage.
it's just
going
getting
for some
some little bit
trades.
of damage.
Yeah. Nothing too big. But either way, look at this. This roll. Already on the dragon.
It's only 5 minutes
quite
in.
literally the moment it spawned. And he is very confident with it. He only has the Swifties. Which is definitely more of an interesting rush item coming in from this roll. That's gonna do wonders, but wait a second.
0-7 has to flash.
He did have to flash away, but the dragon
is
will.
fine. The dragon's.
In fact,
Oh
be
my
secured.
god, this roll's so low.
Yeah, he didn't even smite.
He just knew he had it.
Ujaku plays knowing this roll was on the dragon, does push the wave preemptively, but uh-oh. Look at this.
Looking
Build
for
gamer.
200 plays. No
He's
flash, no W.
He's gonna go for the gank. Chaos Storm, third time's the charm. That's gonna be an easy first blood going over to Zaltate.
Yeah, 200 IQ plays burned his E and W. Didn't know that Field Gamer was coming up. I think he did have the crab vision, but I guess he just wasn't expecting it. And finally Field Gamer able to get something off. The W is not up for 200 IQ plays to save himself.
Ooh, wait a minute. The layering of the CC is really good for the side of Penn State, but the shield coming in from music is nice. Will be able to keep himself alive.
And adaptivity is really low.
Adaptivity, but dangerously low at the moment. This bro trying to find something. If he can't find a gank, he can just go for objectives, and that's exactly what he's doing right now with that first dragon being picked up on the side of Rutgers.
Yep, 10 CS up even after getting the dragon. Definitely might not be finding the ganks, but he's getting his objectives at farm. He's really looking for this top lane gank, but he's really not finding anything.
A dive could be likely at this point. 1-7 though.
He has his R, should be safe. What? He's Adaptivity's about to die to the minions.
Oh wait a minute. Might be a dive here. It's gonna
know
pop
that
his
they
ultimate early.
A little bit early.
Yeah.
But he's just gonna be able to walk out.
Trying to predict the dive, but
200 IQ plays. Kind of knows where Field Gamer is here.
Wait a second. 0-7. I think misclicked. He actually misclicked his ulti. Yeah, he did. He accidentally didn't upgrade his ultimate.
Oh, it's not up.
that's unfortunate.
Oh, maybe that's. I thought he might have gone for like the 1v2 against Karma and Jin there because they were so low. But I guess maybe that's why, because he didn't level his
Giant
ults.
wave crashing into the top side or in this mid lane. I don't know why I said top. Whatever. Probably because predictable wasn't the top side of the jungle. Trying to look for some sort of dive, but
Zaltate managed to pick up all of it anyways. He's like almost strong enough to one-shot the wave with E, which is kind of crazy. Has the E level up, so it's a lot of damage. Both laners shove wave really fast.
It's a very, very slow game as of right now. This bro though, still look for something. The stun should be good. There it is.
So much damage from Karma, but also can't move.
Yeah, 0-7. Gonna be able to pick up the kill without the ultimate. He needs to hit
200 IQ plays. He's getting forced out of his lane though.
This guy needs to hit level 7 as soon as possible, right? He needs to get that Seraphine ultimate online ASAP. 200 IQ play is gonna get zoned away though.
This ultimate has ultimate, so
he does have the Chaos Storm available. The laser doing a lot of damage. Predictable.
He's probably just gonna have to back. He's kind of getting hard out traded here.
Ooh, yeah, this isn't looking good. Nisk with the on-hit damage from his ultimate passive. Doing a lot of work here.
But the Tabis are really making a predictable struggle.
Yeah, and this bro trying to threaten something. Unfortunately, that is not the case, as the Herald will be picked up by Field Gamer and going to be used immediately towards the top side of the jungle.
This bro needs to be careful.
He needs to be careful. There is a Zac that just took Herald, and he tries to go for it. Weaver's Wall actually going to be used by 200 IQ plays.
Just a little bit of supporting there, just in case, I guess. But this will just able to walk one out.
And Phil Gamer
Herald
actually
gets the
did.
plating.
Phil Gamer actually did use Flash, and he didn't. I'm gonna be honest, he didn't get much value out of that. So, fortunately,
Not bad.
Yeah.
Not bad for the side of Rutgers. Gold's pretty. Wait, where is this gold lead coming from? Oh, it's coming from the mid lane.
Probably from the plates. They did.
Yeah,
did
it's
cast
the
Herald.
plates in the mid lane.
But I want to
30
note
CS up in
something
the mid
really.
lane.
I want to know something really. There is a Tiamat on this Jhin. The activity is opting for the
Ravenous
Ravenous
Jhin.
Rush. The Ravenous Rush Jhin.
Didn't that get nerfed? They just
did get nerfed a little
they
bit.
literally just nerfed.
But the
Ravenous.
AD remains the same, but you can no longer
It's just the
stack,
healing.
stack the healing. Yes, the Omnivamp is no longer able to be stacked, and as I say this, the dragon is also going to be spawned. This bro immediately, as soon as it spawns, is straight onto this dragon.
But this time they know.
This time, Phil Gamer is here, so is Zaltate. Music is nice. He needs to try to
This
get a
girl's
good
low.
monsoon off. We'll need to use it soon,
Oh,
and it's going to be
7.
late. Music is nice. He greeds with the monsoon, and he doesn't use it in time. And this bro will go down, and this Cloud Drake will go over to Penn State.
Owen 7 had a decent ult angle there, but the cleanse and the flash just made it so that he wasn't able to get anything more out of it. It was
Oh no!
You hate to
And
see
now
it.
Twitch IQ plays.
Oh,
Good movement.
nice dodges.
With the juke shoes, gonna be able to get out.
1-7 no R does mean that he is a little bit weak in the spot lane. This one's gonna get spotted out as he goes
he's
for
gonna
this
go for it.
gank.
He's gonna run it back. He is on the ward. It's gonna take some damage and run away.
If you look at the vision, bot side completely warded by Penn State. It's gonna be really hard for Nispel to get a gank off here. Top lane, 30 CS off for predictable. Nothing much to say. Just farming up. I believe Jax does scale better in the
I was
1v1.
gonna say, I just realized 200 AQ plays. I just saw him regain a ton of mana, and I just realized
He has unsealed
Clarity.
spellbook.
clarity
Yeah.
with the unsealed spellbook. For some reason, I forgot you can get that. But you know, it does
It'd be
help.
funny if you could get Mark from
that would be
unsealed
so. That would
spellbook.
be so funny.
I think it would be broken, but
It would be. It would be very broken.
maybe then people would actually take the summoner spell to take the rune.
Maybe, but is it really worth it in the end? Maybe for certain.
But it would be so
champions.
funny.
It would be very funny. Phil Gamer though,
Oh,
he's here, but
That's-
music is nice. Is there to keep 200 IQ
Or-
plays safe, but
does have to burn the flash still,
it did
unfortunately.
have to burn the flash. That is the big one.
And that does mean that Bill Gamer can just look for a repeat gank. Also, 200 IQ plays opting for a very defensive build. Has the Merc Treads instead of Magic Pen, and he did go unsealed instead of
Oh, wait a minute.
damage.
Look at this in the bot lane. Seraphine
Oh.
ultimate gonna go straight in between the two bot laners of Penn State. The Monsoon can keep 0-7 alive for a bit longer. Weaver's Wall gonna zone them off, but aid activity will be forced to flash away. And that's a lot committed. And for just a summoner.
nothing. It's just a flash. 8 activity is still really safe. Cleanse is going to come up soon.
There's a lot of things happening right now in this brawl. Gonna force the flash up the other bot laner of Penn State. Predictable. Gonna go on to Zaltate. With the Chaos Storm doing a
200
lot of
IQ plays is
damage. And yeah, 200 IQ plays is here to support. And Predictable will be able to pick up the shutdown. This brawl wants to look for some sort of play in the bottom lane. But there's no minions to work with. I don't think this dive is doable. Build Gamer also roaming down to the bot side.
So the gamer's gonna get here on time before
Yeah.
the bot lane dies, and
Are Rutgers aware of this? It looks like the answer is yes, and here we go. Phil Gamer gonna jump in anyway. The CC immunity from this role will secure his escape. That does allow 200 IQ plays. Clear out this mid wave. Maybe even go for the first tower move. But it looks like this Jax will be able to play that first tower instead.
Yeah, Predictable just walked away a little bit too long there. Went for the kill onto Zoltate, did get the shutdown. Wasn't too bad, but does mean that Neeks with the Herald's Prior is just able to just break the tower really easily. A little bit of a lull time in this game though. No objectives up.
This is most definitely one of the more slower games that we've seen so far in
Yeah,
this
I
series.
think it's the slowest game in the series, yeah. But it's not too slow. There's been a lot of action in the mid lane.
This is what we want.
So Gamer keeps coming
back.
back.
What Rutgers needs is to keep themselves alive.
Yeah, this is what Rutgers needs. They're still down a fair amount of gold from this turret, but it's nothing too major. In terms of like the top lane, Predictable is up quite a bit of gold with the kill, with the shutdown that he got, and the 30 CS that he's up. Or it's like it's around 30. We can just say 30. But in the mid lane, there's a pretty big deficit with Zoltate.
Quite a bit.
Yeah, Field Gamer really putting in work in this mid lane matchup. Meanwhile, he's not actually too far behind Nispril in CS, and he's actually has gotten more objectives than Nispril. So
we'll see. Ooh, looks like a demonic embrace gonna be a rushed item for Nispril. It seems like, not entirely too sure, but either way, the dragon gonna be started up by Penn State.
And Rutgers doesn't have their players here.
Yeah, they don't have any. They don't have anything to work with. They do have the Scuttle Vision, but it's just not enough. And they're just gonna concede it. They can work with that. Dragon scores 1-2 with Penn State picking this up. So a lot of time to work with.
Yeah, I don't really like the demonic buy here from this role. I think that his team kind of beats
trouble. The Weaver's Wall. It's gonna be used. Needs gonna be. I'm gonna use the flash actually to get away. The Herald also gonna be spawned down the bottom side of.
That's probably gonna be bot tower. They're gonna look for Owen 7 here.
Owen 7,
but Nispril is hovering.
Nispril is hovering. I don't think they see him just yet.
Yeah, they just kind of walked past each other, just outside of vision. Kind of interesting trade here.
And Nispril playing around with the vision. Yep, here we go. The engage is coming in. But a good monsoon knocks Field Gamer into the tower. The teleport going to be immediately used by 200 IQ plays. And Field Gamer going to get caught off guard. Is it going to force him to go down? We'll say the answer might be no. The curtain call going to do a little bit of extra damage. Can it find a kill? Nispril needs a body block, but 200 IQ plays instead tanks it. But it's going to be enough to stay alive.
The Chaos Storm from Zoltate just did so much work there. I thought Rutgers was going to win that fight for sure, but then they just didn't have the damage, and then Zoltate came in and pressed R, and then the
that's the current issue right now with this team comp that Rutgers White are going for. They just don't have the damage pretty early to mid game, and oh my god!
Wow!
No, Nice, you can't do him like that, man. You can't just juke him like that. Oh my god, look at him, look at that! Look at that! That was really well played. That was really well played.
As predictable there, you gotta feel the pain.
Yeah, that was painful to watch. That was so sad. Nice just absolutely breaking the ankles of Nispril.
Really well played, playing up around vision, just basically perfectly able to just sneak away from predictable there.
Then again, interesting pickup for this Jhin. The Ravenous gonna be rushed immediately.
Yeah,
I don't know how I feel about that. I'm gonna be honest.
I don't really know what to think about that either. It's kind of an interesting.
To be fair, you do get 20 AD when you stack it full, which basically does give you an 85. It does scale with AD very well. It's going to be an 85 AD, assuming that he stays alive. He's currently 0-0-0 right now. So is the Jax 0-0-0, and both of them also don't have a mythic yet. Neither does the Zac.
Only 4 kills at 20 minutes. In both the previous games at 20 minutes, there were people were finishing their second items, maybe even. I don't think they were finishing their third. And Zaldate does have his 2 items here, but just a really slow game. Not a lot of gold going around.
Definitely a slow game. Only 4 kills in this 20 minutes so far. This game, believe it or not, is definitely sitting on a nice edge right now. Music is nice. And
Good
the Weaver's
cue.
Wall gonna try to catch out adaptivity. Nispril gonna be here, but a good Seraphine ultimate going to start to kick things off. Nispril using the Glacial Storm to do so much damage over there. Predictable, just gonna be cleaning up everyone else. Field Gamer, he's gonna get shoved back. He tries to jump away, but it's not gonna be enough. The passive from Zach, only to buy time for Rutgers White to just absolutely wipe the floor, and the Baron now up next. What just happened?
Rutgers finally found their damage. 0-7 hit a huge ult there. Was that 4? I think it was
a 4
man ult from 0-7. And the burn items are all finished from the side of Rutgers White. Predictable landed a pretty good ult as well, with all of them grouped by 0-7's ult. And they're just able to clean them up.
And the empowered ultimate coming in from Nispril.
Yeah, with the demonic embrace.
With the demonic embrace burn, it's just absolutely melting everyone. With
I think
that,
it looks like Rutgers is going to try to contest this dragon still.
you need to go for it. 30 seconds left.
They are going to be able to get there in time. He's trying to steal away this blue buff a little bit cheeky.
Oh yeah, definitely. But Nisk won't be able to do so. Zaltate already here. And look at this. Gonna be another 5 versus 5 potentially. Unless Penn
Predictable
State...
has his Ravenous completed, but not stacked. But
Dragon now
that does mean he is the second player with 2 items. Predictable.
It's gonna be very close. Dragon gonna be started up for...
0-7 has his ultimate again.
Yeah, predictable. Ooh, close for vision play. Doesn't quite find something. Twitch icon play is gonna get caught up. But here we go. The Zac ultimate, or the Zac engage, actually gonna go in, but it doesn't quite knock up anyone. But still, he's gonna just bounce around the team of Rutgers, but it's not quite doing anything. Nispril gonna get chunked down very low, but the Monsu just keeping everyone alive. Look at the health bars coming in from Penn State. And as I say that, Rutgers, their health bars are going low too, but the Weaver's Wall gonna cut 2 members of Penn State off. And that's going to be enough of 4 kills going over to Rutgers. And then we might be able to see a 5th adaptivity. This is a 1v5. You cannot win. And another clean team fight coming in on the side of Rutgers. And they're making it happen. They're making it work.
They're actually going to be able to upset. It's kind of crazy.
The upset is happening.
And with these kills, Nisril probably gonna be able to finish this Jock show, and I think all of Rutgers is going to be able to finish up their second item, and it's just going to be a really hard. It's going to be an uphill battle for Penn State to fight from here. And they've got Rutgers has finally got their items online, and they're probably not going to let this lead go. I mean, 0-7 even missed his ulti there that fight. He basically, the only value he got out of his ultimate was zoning, but Music is Nice, his healing is so crucial to these fights.
Yeah, that was very
like,
big.
Nispril and Predictable go so low, and Music is Nice presses R, and he heals it completely back up. Now on the side of Penn State, there is some anti-heal from Saki TTV on the Karma, but it's not,
I don't think it's enough.
It's not completed, so it's not gonna be enough quite yet. He's not even able to easily apply to all members of Rutgers, so...
Yeah, he needs to try to finish that Putrefier as soon as he can, but... the state of the game right now, it's not looking too good on the side of Penn State. They need to look
2 versus 11.
They need to look for an opening. They need to look for an opportunity. Right now, their strongest member on Penn State is Zaltate.
Zaltate.
Yeah. 200 CS, 2 kills. Penn State's name, both of them on Zaltate right now. And it's, they need to play around him, try to look for some sort of way to get back into the game, but
it's just
looking
really hard.
It's looking very grim on the side of Penn State. Rutgers,
Nispero's really hard to kill, finally finishing his jock show.
They're gonna up the
So
tempo. Old gamer, also for something, but Rutgers, they're not giving the opportunity at all.
no vision in the river for Penn State. They do have vision on try, but they don't know exactly where Rutgers is playing. They have some idea though, and that doesn't mean that Predictable is all alone in this bot side.
Yeah, he does take the
Maybe-
bottom tier 1.
Maybe could look for a collapse, but
Ooh, wait a minute, the Weaver's Wall. Not quite gonna cut him off, but it does bring too much IQ plays into the backline of Penn State, and they're just gonna pick off the victor. Just like
Look at
that.
the Chaos
Music is
Storm.
nice. Might die to the Chaos Storm, but the Monsoon is good. But Nice trying to find some sort of response, and he does commit the flash onto the Janna, but Nispero, look at him go. He is way too damn tanky right now. And this Zach can't really tank the same way Nispero can right now with this Jack Show finished on him. And Filled Gamer goes down. Nice.
the tier 1 tower is still up
He
here,
is in a
and
lot of trouble right
Rutgers
now. Predictable. Dashes over the wall, tries to find something. Does have the ultimate to work with. Does he go for it? I've been seeing a lot of God Nice in the chat, but he's being chased down by 4 members of Rutgers. I don't know if he can do it here. The knockups are there, the shove is there as well, and just not giving Penn State any room to work with.
Sultate still does a lot of damage. Like, you saw there that Music is Nice almost died to just the Chaos Storm by itself. The problem is that with like all his shielding plus 0-7 support, it's just really, really hard for any of the damage to stick. Like, Music is Nice almost lives there with the R, but then Nice does come in to get the final kill. But it's still just really hard for Penn State to stick any damage onto Rutgers' team now. All the healing items are built out, all the damage items are built out. Rutgers' team is finally coming together. Or well, they already have been together for a bit. 3 to 14, 6,000 gold or 5,000 gold in Rutgers' favor.
This is most definitely Rutgers taking over this game number 3. $800
This is
on the
exactly
line.
where Rutgers wants
And here
to
we
be.
go. The Baron now alive. Rutgers threatening this Baron take.
Predictable isn't here yet, but Meatsk isn't here either. Doesn't have the TP available. It's just taking drugs.
They have
It's
no
just gonna
vision
go
to
over
work
to
with. They only have
Rutgers.
the blue wards on the side of Penn State. They're realizing it now. This Baron is going down very quickly. But Predictable, he's in an angle to
They're
go for a
overstepped.
good Cyclone, and there it is. It's just so much damage coming in on the side of Rutgers right now. The scaling, they waited it out. They turtled, and now they're just going to get 2 kills. The 5-man death ball is way too damn strong.
And they're just gonna turn back to the Baron, actually. They might give up the Dragon?
They have a lot of.
They're
They
actually
can,
gonna
they can
split
do a
up.
lot of
They're
things
gonna
right now.
take
They have
both.
so many things to work with. The Baron can definitely get 2-manned. But it looks like they're just going to back out. They're going to try to focus this Dragon instead. Build Gamer. Gonna just do a little drive-by. But doesn't quite find a smite angle. And
They're gonna go for the Dragon. They're gonna opt for the Dragon here.
They're gonna opt for the
It's
Dragon,
definitely the
Bill
safer
Gamer.
play.
he should try to steal this. But will he go for
Probably
it?
no.
Nope, he goes for another drive-by. And that just signifies Rutgers to just rush it down. They know the Zac doesn't have the jump, and they will just immediately take down this Dragon. It's going to be Soul Point going over to Rutgers. They are slowly but surely taking over this game number 3. 6,000
Chugging their way to
gold.
victory.
And
Stopwatch up for 0-7 means it's gonna be even more impossible for Penn State to lock him down and kill him. And none of the members of Rutgers are weak anymore. It's really hard for any member of Penn State to get any kills off, any picks off. It's not going to be very easy. It's got to be like a 3v1 in order to solidly make sure to get a pick off. Because with Summoner spells up, it's nigh impossible for any of Rutgers to die by themselves.
Uh-oh. Saltate is a little isolated right now. And he's most definitely gonna go down here. Saltate walking in the wrong direction right now. Nispro and music
2
is
levels
nice.
down.
Yeah, he's 2 levels down. There's nothing he can do. A little bit of a
That's definitely
seemed
gonna
like
be the
seemed like a little
Baron.
bit of a desperation play, to be fair. trying to get as much farm as possible, try to keep his team afloat. But
that means that he's not going to be alive for the Baron.
It's going to be an easy Baron take for Rutgers. There's just no AoE to work with. Zaltate not there in this fight, but they're going to try to commit anyway. A last-ditch effort coming in from Penn State. The Baron going to be dangerously low. Who's going to take it? It's going to be Rutgers. 0-7 though. Look at him. Look at him. He's going to get jumped up. The stopwatch might be enough. The empowered W going to be able to save himself. And Jax will go down. Field Gamer needs to run for the hills, as does everyone else on Penn State. They're just running it down. They're just going to wipe the floor. They're going to just kill absolutely everyone. This roll killing the Jhin in the tier 1 tower. Zaltate actually respawns, does use the teleport, but this roll gonna get taken out. Actually, good flash coming in from Zaltate, but now he's in a lot of trouble. He doesn't have any escape. He has no way to get out of this situation, and it's gonna be an ace for Rutgers, and that might be the game. They're just gonna go for the victory push.
You know, we thought that this game was going to be a banger, and it really was.
It really was.
Rutgers managed to slow down the game, and they were just able to get their items. They built up. It was even early. They slowed down. They slowed down the game to a crawl, and they're just able to build up.
Yeah, Nexus Tower is going to be open. Neat's going to try to find a kill onto 0-7, but instead goes for the flash. But the Nexus is exposed. The $800 is going to get cashed in over to the side of Rutgers White, and they're going to win with a reverse sweep. They're 2-1. What an upset. Oh my god, they actually do it.
Really well played by Rutgers. They did exactly what their team was supposed to do, and they're gonna go home with $800 for winning Fireside Open of 2022.
Oh my god, what a game. GG's all around, and yeah, what a game from Rutgers. They get absolutely dumpstered
in game 1, picking the Ashe. That didn't do a lot, and then they're able to find their footing in game 2 with the Varus pick. Did a lot. Their top side played a lot better, and then in game 3 they're able to close it out with the comp, do exactly what they're supposed to do, slow the game pace down to a crawl, and then scale up. Didn't let Penn State take too many advantages, and then they're just able to close it out.
Yeah, very well played on the side of both teams, honestly. Penn State, they
did beat
had
Rutgers
a good run.
before.
They had a good run. They were I believe they were undefeated up until this point. So
yeah, they didn't lose. They didn't lose a set. They lost. They had managed to drop one match, but they did well this. They did well in this tournament too. And Rutgers Varsity White ends up taking the win.
That I think that'll be it from us. Thank you.
Congratulations to Rutgers White. Thank you guys for watching.
Thank you for thank you for going through this Fireside experience, and we'll be back for more Rutgers League content in the near future. So stay tuned for that. That'll be it from us for the night.
Yep. And everyone have a good night.